on Gallus. There's a few other matches that we've got as well, but I can't go into those because we actually don't have a breakdown. There isn't an official preview that WWE have put up, unfortunately. So we don't have that information. But I remember those matches. I remember it being a case that it is Axiom having to pull double duty. And we do have Trick Williams defending the championship against Eddy Thorpe. Obviously, we're on the road. We're in Lowell, Massachusetts, so that's pretty exciting. We do have more information about Ethan Page. We know that he's going to be on this show. He was shown in a little backstage clip with Shawn Michaels, and Shawn walked past and he went, he's not doing well, because he was on his phone, and I don't know where that's going, but he is at this show. So I expect to see Ethan Page at some point on this show. But yeah, it feels like it's building towards him leaving and maybe going to the main roster or something happening. But not sure what. We have an image that's come through as well. Let me see if I can just put it up on screen. We can see inside the arena. Let's go here. So there we go. That is what the inside looks like. We got the walkway, we got the ring. As we said, we are not in the Performance Center tonight. We are in Lowell, Massachusetts, and should be good. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to this show. We know that on Friday it's a tape show. We know that next Monday is going to be a tape show. We know that next Tuesday is going to be a tape show. So we are going through a period now of taped shows. I think the SmackDown on the 27th is the next live show. So it's going to be 9 days after tonight until we get our next live show. And tape shows can be okay. Obviously, there's spoilers that you have to try and avoid, but yeah, you know, it'll be okay. It'll be all right. We'll get through it. We'll find a way. But yes, should be good tonight. Let's enjoy our final live show for a little while. Hello. I felt sorry for Tatum Paxley that her bestie, Lyra Valkyria, is going away from America and she's going to have a wrestling match in her native country. This is true. She is going back to Ireland for OTT wrestling. She is going back to catch up with an old friend, and yeah, should be interesting. See, like, you know, what footage comes out of that. But there was a fun little moment where Lyra opened up the boot to the car and Tatum was in there, and we've actually got it in unseen later, so we'll have a look at that later. Daze, I vote for you to be our one and only tribal chief, said Lisa. Well, thank you, Lisa, but I'm too lazy for that. Mr. MJR619 said, are they doing tapes because of a move, or are they doing tapes because of the holidays? So a lot of people have said that, you know, they're back on the road, basically. They're back on the road in 2020. Hang on. They're back on the road after Christmas on the 26th. And so I think what they're doing is they're giving the superstars a bit of time just before Christmas so that they can see their families before Christmas, because certainly those ones on the main roster, they've got like a lot of shows after Christmas, like 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. Like they are doing a loop. So it is going to be pretty full on for them. So yeah, I have no issue with them having time off now so that they can see their families, because to be honest, I mean, they ain't getting much time over Christmas itself. 26th, they've got a show. So I don't know. I mean, they might even have to travel on Christmas night or something. I don't even know how they're going to get to New York and whatever, because I've got to think that flights and everything are going to be down to a minimum, right? I mean, I can't imagine there's going to be that many flights and whatnot. Certainly, I'd imagine it's going to be a reduced service. But yeah, they've got like house shows on the 26th on Boxing Day. Unless they're going to somehow travel on that day. But I don't know, mate. You're cutting it quite close if you've got like travel problems. So some people travel the day before. But do you really want to travel on Christmas Day? Don't know, it's a bit of a surprise they're having them go back out on Boxing Day, but listen, they get paid enough. Hasib, shout out to you, said in the transfer window, we're assuming that the majority of big stars will go to Raw. If you're one of the few like Randy or Drew, would you be disappointed if you went to SmackDown? Not really. I mean, I suppose yes and no. The only thing I would say to myself if that happened is, you know, I think in wrestling, you've got to make the best of whatever situation you're dealt. There is so much that's out of your control. There's so much that you don't have an influence on. And actually knowing when to push and when to not, I think is really important in wrestling, because if you're going to fight every decision, you're probably going to get kicked out the company eventually, because you're probably going to be seen as being difficult to work with. And it's probably not something that's going to be beneficial for your career in the long run, right? I feel like you probably need to get to a certain level before you start pushing back on a consistent basis. So depending on who you are and where you are on the card, I don't know how much pushback you could have if you really wanted to go to Raw. For me personally, if I was a superstar, I like to think myself as a team player, so I would be very much like, what do you need me to do, you know? And I would just do it. And so if you need me to go to SmackDown, I'll go to SmackDown. If you give me an opportunity, I'm going to smash it out the park. At least that way, I can look in the mirror and know whatever happens, I gave it everything. Like, what more could I have done? If I am using social media, trying to toe the line, I'm not trying to rock the boat. You give me TV time, I'm trying to put on the best match possible. You give me a microphone, I'm trying to put on the best promo possible. Like, I'm thinking of my gear, I'm thinking of my presentation, I'm thinking about my connection with the fans, I'm talking with creative, but I'm not overstepping any mark, right? I'm not trying to cause trouble, but I'm just trying to, how can I get my piece of the pie? And if I've got to go to SmackDown, I'll go to SmackDown. Because the way I would view it is, well, there's going to be a lot less big names around to stand in my way. I can really get somewhere here. I can really get somewhere. I can really be I don't want to say the face of this brand, but I suppose you've got to look at it that way. I mean, if you're not striving to be the best and to be in that position, I'm sure you've heard many wrestlers saying in interviews before, what are you even here for? Everyone should be fighting to be the best version of themselves, give their all. And so that would be my mentality. Now, if I'd been in the business like 10 years, I was very valued, and then I find out maybe my attitude would be a little different. Perhaps I would be a bit more upset about it because, maybe at that point I don't need to toe the line quite as much. I know my value, and so I know I'm not just disposable. I mean, everyone is, but perhaps you've got a bit more leeway. So maybe I'd be a bit more disappointed then, but I would still like to think that I would retain that ability to look at the glass being half full rather than just half empty. Some people in this world are just half empty glass all the time. And honestly, I get that. I try not to do that myself because at some point we're all going to pass away. And do you want to have lived your life being constantly glass half empty? Like, do you want to look back on your life and look back on a life where you was constantly down, depressed, glass was half empty all the time? Or would you rather use the time that you have trying to be as much glass half full as possible? Which, is easier said than done. We all have good days, we all have bad days, This isn't life advice. But, I would like to think that I would try and be a bit more glass half full than half empty. Lisa, shout out to you, said, do we think Hunter is doing too many backstage parking lot attacks? Too much of the same thing can be stale. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, for me, it's not an issue at the moment. I think that it's a bit strange that it's all happening at the same time. Certainly the NXT ones, but then backstage attacks in NXT have been pretty consistent, yeah? The parking lot there is notorious. I'm surprised it hasn't got its own merch. And I do think, though, that the Jay attack and the Jaida attack, they happened quite, close together. We haven't found out the Jade one. We got the Jay one explained quite quickly with Drew taking ownership for that. We found out about the Eddy attack as well. He attacked himself. That was quite clever. So there's only, I think, the Jade one that's like a mystery now, but little backstage brawls and whatever, I mean, you're going to get that on a regular basis. So, I don't know. It wasn't a problem for me. When Eddy was attacked, there may have been a comment of like, God, this is happening a lot or something like that. But it wasn't like, I personally hadn't reached the point where it was like, another one, you know? So, I think that was fine. It was still in the okay territory. But had they have kept doing it, then, yeah, we very much could have got to, another one. They're doing it again. So, I think it was all right for what he did. I think it was fine. American Nightmare, shout out to you, said Trick Williams versus Eddy Thorpe, Nathan Frazier and Axiom against Gallus, Oba Femi against Axiom, Zarya and Sol Ruka taking on Lash Legend and Jakara, and we got Jaida Parker against Wren Sinclair. American Nightmare, thank you. Yeah, on the website, it doesn't have the official preview for tonight, which is a real shame. But, yeah, very good. That news was bonkers, wasn't it? I always see little bits like that. And I never know whether to do a video on them or not, because really we just do unseen. I mean, it would need to be something exceptional to do a breaking news video. But I was up when that Conor news came through that he was in talks to fight Logan. Obviously, Logan, WWE superstar. That's the kind of thing where I would normally look at it and I wouldn't know, do I do a breaking news? Do I put it into unseen? Like, I never quite know what to do with those. So today I was just like, I'm just going to do the video. I'm going to do the video. And, you know, whatever it does, it does. But I mean, it was the talk of the town. But even right now, it's still one of the explore topics. Conor McGregor, Logan Paul, a boxing spectacle set for India. It's not confirmed. And you do always have to take what Conor says with a pinch of salt. But considering, I think, the highest, most bought pay-per-view ever out, you know, the Mike Tyson thing wasn't a pay-per-view. But the actual pay-per-view is Conor against Floyd Mayweather. I believe that's number one. It was either Mayweather-Pacquiao or Mayweather-Conor. It's one of those. The fact that Conor is now potentially about to fight Logan Paul in India in a box is pretty big news. It's one of those where you're like, do I do a video or do I just put it in unseen? But it was like 20 hours till unseen. So I was like, I'm going to do it. So I did it. But it was one of those where I was like, was that the right thing to do? Is that not the right thing to do? Are people interested? Are they not interested? I had a real mixed bag of responses. Some people were like, this is bonkers. Some people were like, oh, I don't care about this. I don't care about these two. So I certainly don't care about this fight. So I sort of got the responses I expected. But yeah, there is this grey area of never quite knowing whether to do a video for bits like that or not. And I don't know. Some people will say yes. Some people will say no. I'm still not really any of the clearer. But that was pretty bonkers news to read, to be honest. It was pretty bonkers news to read. That'll be a big deal next year if it happens, and we will stream it. Provided it's not on at the same time as like a WWE stream, of course. And don't forget, we're back tomorrow. We are doing that flipping weird stream, aren't we? The Netflix launch. I believe that's tomorrow. So that's going to be across WWE's social media accounts. It's got to be tomorrow because it can't be next Wednesday because that's flipping Christmas Day. So I'm sure it is tomorrow for that. I've got the stream set up and everything. So we're actually back tomorrow for another stream. A stream that I really don't know what to expect. I mean, could there be announcements? Could there be surprises? I genuinely don't know. I mean, this is the kickoff show for Raw on Netflix. So if they were to make some announcements for that first Raw, if they were to announce some legends that are going to be there or another match that's going to be on that, or I don't know, that wouldn't be too surprising to see them do something like that. So they must have something up their sleeve, you know. We're going to the headquarters, doing a special event with fans in attendance, loads of superstars. And it's for this Netflix thing. It's the official kickoff show. I don't know what to expect. We're going to watch it and find out together. Chris said, I don't think it would be a bad thing if you went to SmackDown. After WrestleMania, the Netflix thing will start to die down anywho. Well, that's why you'd want to be there for the start, really. You know, if you go to Raw after it has died down, you're sort of missing out on the extra razzmatazz. I suppose this is the time to be there, this first launch, because that first premiere is going to do a bonkers number. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever find out what the rating actually is, but I would think an easy 2 million plus. You know, it normally does like 1.5, 1.7. I mean, it's been a while since we clicked over to the 2 million range, but SmackDown not long ago, before it moved, was doing over 2 million. So with the hype around this show, it's hard to know if it's reaching the non-wrestling fans, yeah? It's hard to know if we're actually getting through to those people. Wrestling fans are going to tune in. So an easy 2, right? Some people might say that it's going to be a 3 or a 4. I mean, I just don't know. It's impossible to say. The only thing I would say is that it normally does, 1.5? So if it did 3, it would be doubling its normal number. Which it could. But, I mean, that's a big ask. To double what you normally do, that is a big ask. But could it do that for this show? Yeah. Yeah, it could. I don't think anything up to like 4 is... I mean, if it did 3... If the number came out, it did 3.2 million, I think you would see that as a big success. The idea that it's going to do 10 million or something like that, I think we're getting into fantasy lands now. I mean, to go from your normal 1.5, 1.7 to like 10 million, I mean, that kind of an increase is just, that's bonkers. That's bonkers. I can't see that. But anything up to like 4, I could see, but I don't know. I think any kind of number you put on it is just going to be a guess. And to be honest, I don't even know if we're going to find the answer out. I don't even know if we'll know what the flipping number was. So, plus also, you do have to factor in worldwide. So, not only is it 1.5 in America, but I don't know what the rest of the world does. I know America's the biggest audience. So, if you factor in worldwide, let's say they do 2.5 million. Let's say 1.5 in the US and it's 1 million around the rest of the world. I'm not aware of like some crazy numbers in India or anything. I don't know. Yeah, I'd love to know what that number's going to be. I'd love to know what their projections for that number are going to be. But just based on that US number, I'm thinking around 2.5. I'd be surprised if they could double what they normally do. But perhaps that's the goal. Perhaps the goal's much bigger. Not sure. But that's why, like, if you don't go there at the start, that's why you'd be disappointed, because I agree it will settle down. Daze, I hope you are well, having a great day. I enjoyed Raw. I thought it was okay. I can't wait for Lola Vice. I enjoyed Unseen. Awesome. And either Drew or Rock could cost Roman on Raw. If they're going to give Punk Mania main event, surely it's going to be against either Roman or Cody. If they're going to give Punk a Mania main event, surely it's against Roman or Cody. Well, it would feel like it's going to be against Seth, wouldn't it? It would feel like Seth would be the play. So, I mean, I don't know that it's going to be, but Seth would feel like the direction that it's heading. I mean, I can't imagine that this feud... I mean, if you think about how long his feud with Drew lasted, I mean, starting a feud with Seth in December sort of feels like it's probably going to play out and finish at WrestleMania. WrestleMania is where a lot of feuds end. So, Seth's got to be in the mix as well. But it could be Cena. Yeah, Cena's going to be having a lot of singles matches and facing different people at different times. So definitely can't take that off the table. I saw a lot of people wanting a Cody heel turn, said Aaron. Would you do it, Daze? I wanted to see him do it in AEW before he left. I would do it eventually, but I would not do it anytime soon. I would not do it in 2025 or 2026. I think that he is the face of the company outside of Roman. I think he is the baby face. I think that, you know, Roman is kind of in this weird zone where he's transitioned into babyface and the fans are treating him like babyface, but he's not quite come around to it himself yet. You know, I mean, he's quite happy to stare down Cody and tell him he's going to get his belt back and, You know, he was quite happy to boss people around until they said it ain't going that way anymore. I think he's still in a process of transition into babyface, and he'll get there by the time we're 2025, first part of 2025. But I just think that Cody, for me, is the ultimate babyface. He was, as Triple H said, he's born to be this babyface. He loves sticking around after shows to meet fans. He loves hanging out with the kids that dress up as him, signing autographs. Like, that is actually a side of the business I think he genuinely enjoys. And I think because of his journey, he knows to not take that for granted. Also, the fact that I think he said he'll be done in 5 years. 5 years and he's out. So I would not sacrifice this babyface run that we're on. If you think it was only in April that everyone was like, we want Cody, and then he finished his story. And for me, it's only been bad booking since then that has meant that his popularity is waning, right? A little. Wavering a little. I still don't think it's anything seismic. I think a lot of those people talking about turning him heel are the vocal minority in the internet wrestling community. If you was to zoom out and look at the bigger picture, I think Cody's absolutely fine. But yeah, I mean, we touched on it with Unseen about how there was a little crowd of support for Kevin and how there is comments on social media. But I still think the casuals and the vast majority are still behind Cody. So I personally wouldn't. I think that I would eventually, before he retires. But I would try and get a bit more out of this run. And I think part of the reason for it is because I can still see so many great matches for him as a babyface. You know, him against heel Randy. I really like that idea. I really liked it. And some people would say, well, just turn Cody heel. You don't have to turn Randy heel. But I think we need a heel Randy, because Randy is the biggest foe of Bray's career. I cannot imagine the Wyatt Six not crossing paths with Randy. I can't imagine the Wyatt Six never have. Think of all the backstory there. Think of everything that happened between Randy and Bray. I can't imagine Randy not turning heel and the Wyatt Six going after him. So I feel like that's a reason as to why I would turn Randy. Another one is, if we do Randy against John Cena, I can't imagine Cena being heel next year. There's going to be so much love for Cena as he waves goodbye to the fans. You could do face versus face, but wouldn't it make a bit more sense if Randy leaned into being a bit of a heel? Wouldn't it make sense if he was a heel? So if the Cena feud and the Wyatt's feuds means that it makes sense for Randy to be a heel, well, then why not have him in a feud with Cody? And then you can do a whole backstory with Cody and Randy. Cody can be the face, Randy can be the heel. And, there's a hell of a lot to dig into with all of that. Plus, we've got The Rock coming back, and The Rock is the final boss. And he's a heel, and he's killed it as a heel. And sure, people will cheer The Rock, but I think The Rock as the final boss has been so much fun. I wouldn't abandon that now and then switch roles and have The Rock as the face and Cody as the heel. So again, that feud makes a lot of sense to me, doing it as Cody as face and Rock as heel. So I think because there's still options on the table, there's still matches for us to have with Cody being a face and going up against some heel opponents. I would keep him. And you know me, I don't like the idea of turning Cody face or heel for like 6 months and then turning him back. I think if you turn, you do it for a while, If you turn, you do it for a while. So yeah, I don't like the idea of this back and forth nonsense. So I would do it, but I would do it a couple of years' time, give him a couple of year run as a heel, and then maybe his final year switch him back to being a face. Or maybe just keep him as a heel until his kind of final matches where, at the very end he's a face. But yeah, it's a big conversation that what do you do with Cody? Some people do want to turn him heel. They do want him to go in that direction, but I'm not one of them people. Hannah, shout out to you. Great episode of The Wep. My question is, where do we see The Wep in the years to follow? Well, I would personally love for The Wep, to the Wrestling Escape Pods, to have some regular segments. sometimes if ever we go down a conversation that's a bit of a dead end, and that happens a lot, obviously, because nothing's scripted. So if we start a conversation and I'm just struggling to find any entertainment in it, then it would be good to go, okay, cool, should we go to such and such? And then we can throw over to a regular segment. We have the Instagram photos, which is always nice, because if ever it feels like we're just constantly getting lost or something, we can always go, look, let's box that off. We're running out of time. Let's go to Instagram. And it's a good way of just getting out of a bad situation, to be honest. Because sometimes we can find ourselves there. Sometimes we're in a conversation where there can be some fun. I mean, I thought when we were looking at the Brat stuff, I mean, I never see the chat, so I never know if the chat's enjoying it or whatnot. But I always think that if you're enjoying it, if you're having fun, it's a good indicator that others would be enjoying it as well. And I was loving going through the Brat TikTok stuff. I was having a good time. I could have kept exploring other things. I think, you know, if we had had a few other topics that we could have chucked in, we could have had a look at a few other things there. I thought if we'd have... that's what I was going to do. I remember saying to Tommy I was doing something and I forgot what it was. What I was going to look at the top trends of 2024, because in my mind I was like, well, I know about a Brat Summer, but what else has happened in 2024 that I can just do a quick search of? Because I felt like there was some gold there. I felt like there was some fun bits that we could have found. That is difficult, though, because when I'm searching for stuff, Tommy can't see it. Obviously, he can look at the stream, but the stream's got a slight delay to it. So he can't see what I can see. So when I'm calling stuff up, he can't react live to it because he ain't seeing it. The only thing he can see is what you see, and there is a delay, obviously. So, yeah, I think I would like to get a few more regular segments so that I don't want too many, but like... I don't know. I think people, for example, love tuning into the member streams because I think the quiz, people really enjoy doing the quiz. So, you know, maybe if we did a weekly quiz, went on to Sporkle and we did a weekly quiz, but it was just not wrestling related. We just randomly chose a quiz and we just did that each week. Like that could be a fun 10 minutes. And maybe we do 10 minutes of Instagram pictures, and maybe we just structure it a bit more. So I would look at something like that. I really like the Wrestling Escape Pods, but I always think afterwards, if I was to go back and actually make a 5-minute video of like the best moments of this week's episode, I feel like that would be a really fun video. If I was to get the best 5 minutes from this week's Wrestling Escape Pod, I think that would be really fun. If you used to cut out the bits where we're getting a bit lost, where we're trying to find humour and we can't quite find it, if we were to cut that out and just have like 5-10 minutes of the best bits, I think there'd be some of the best videos I've been a part of, to be honest. Some of my favourite ever moments on YouTube are not even on this Wrestling Daze channel. They're over on the Wrestling Escape Pods. Because there is something really good about organically stumbling across humour, organically finding something funny. There's a magic to not having it planned or prepared and actually, oh my God, I suppose that happens on the streams when we're having fun on the streams. I mean, I can't prepare what's about to happen on the show tonight. We're just going to react and talk about whatever's going to go down. And I think the Wrestling Escape Pod's good because there is a freedom there where we don't just have to look at wrestling, and we can go outside of wrestling and we can talk video games and music and films and tap dancing women that are crying whilst remembering their grandfathers. Like, these are things that happen. So, yeah, I just want it to be something people enjoy, but... how do you get to the good stuff and cut out the not so good stuff? How can you make that ratio better? Not sure. James, shout out to you. Said, Daze, the ratings should be abolished. It's just outdated now. And that's also a reason for a lot of the tribalism. As fans, ratings shouldn't matter one bit. Yeah, well, you know what the counter-argument would be to that. The counter-argument would be... that's what the TV money is based on. That's how the renegotiations are done. It matters for that regards. I agree, though. I mean, the ratings are never a sign of quality. I mean, there's so many amazing musicians. Some of my favourite bands and artists were not the biggest. I'm sure many of yours as well. They just absolutely hit home for you. They are perfect for you. They are everything you would want, but they're not Taylor Swift, are they? They're not like, world dominators. So sometimes like quality cannot be measured by success, views and likes and all of that stuff, and the same with wrestling as well. I mean, I think AEW have put out some good stuff. I mean, I really do like this Tony Storm stuff at the moment, but it's unfortunate that it's coming on a show and at a time where it's lacking a bit of momentum. Let's put it that way, right? I haven't seen what the latest ratings are or anything like that, but I keep saying I hope they turn it round. I would like for them and for NXT to be back up at that kind of 700,000-800,000 range. I don't know that NXT has ever consistently been up there, but I'd like them to be up there. And I'd like for AEW to be up there. And I think that, that would be healthy to have, a good, strong alternative because, I mean, look, if AEW goes, and there'll be plenty of people celebrating if it does, but think of all those wrestlers and where do they go? Like, some of them would have to leave the industry. Where would Tony Storm go? I mean, she would be all right. She's a great star. I'm sure she could go to Stardom. I don't know that she'd want to go to WWE. Maybe she would now Vince has gone. But there's no guarantee that she would. There's no guarantee that she would want to go back. So would she go TNA? Would she go Stardom? Would she go Marigolds? I don't know. I don't know what she would do. But I can't imagine that not having AEW around is a good thing for a lot of these wrestlers, Plus also, if a lot of that talent does go to those indies, that's just clogging up spots for the superstars that are trying to come through. So again, it's the industry gets smaller, doesn't it? The industry gets smaller. That's the truth. The industry gets smaller if AEW goes. So I don't think it's in wrestling's best interest that happens. I don't think it's in WWE's best interest either, because I do think AEW has brought out the competitive side in WWE. Maybe that's settled down now that, AEW is consistently around the 500,000 range, but I would imagine there's a fire in NXT to try and outdo AEW. I'd imagine that's something that motivates them. And listen, if you're motivated to try and put on the best show you can so you can beat your competition, that's better than not having competition, isn't it? So, yeah, I hope they find a way, to be honest. But we'll have to see. We'll see what 2025 holds. Perhaps that'll be the year they do turn it round. AEW will never go away. TNA had Dark Days, and they're still around, says Aaron. Yeah, and there's more money behind AEW, but expenditure-wise, I'm not sure how they stack up. So, the wage bill and everything for AEW, how does that compare to TNA's from back in the day? I mean, all of that financial side, I'm really not sure. So, I don't know. I don't know what the future would look like. I don't know if it would just get a little bit smaller. Some of the big stars would go. The wage bill would become more manageable. Or does Tony Khan just keep putting money in? I mean, I think I heard that their new TV deal means that they're now going to be, I don't know if they are profitable, but word on the street was that they could be in the profitable area. Whether that's true or not, I'm not sure. But I don't know. I hope they have a better 2025 than 2024, definitely. Trent Seven's current TNA deal is coming to a close, says Sean Rossat. Trenton, thank you. I wonder if there is anything to that. I don't know if he would come back to... I don't know if he'd come back to WWE. Calvin, hello. Oh my God, we've only got 16 minutes. I'm sat here chatting away like a boomer thinking we've got 2 hours, and I'm totally forgetting it's NXT and we do not have that time. Why do we think A-Town Down Under is still together? Why is Austin Theory not turned face? Why do we think he was booked to lose against Luke Gallows? I don't give a flip about him losing to Luke Gallows. I cannot believe that was a story. I honestly cannot believe that a dark show match result was a story. I cannot believe that. A dark show match actually became a talking point. Who gives a flip? Who cares about a dark show match result? Why would anyone think that's an indicator of anything? You know, they gave Luke Gallows a win. And I saw the wrestling media world reacting. Like, I saw WrestleMania had it as like buried and all this, and I'm like, I think that's the side of wrestling that I really struggle with, is that kind of, it's nonsense. There is a real large nonsense side to wrestling. And we spoke about it a lot, right? Where, you know, there's like fake news that obviously does the rounds. There's stories that get repeated. I've actually seen accounts, you know, like your no DQs and those kind of places, right? I'm not going to say it is them, but I'm saying those kinds of places, your ringside news kind of places, you know, the flipping quantity over quality places, the places that just spam news all day, every day, and, you know, they just get it from anywhere. I've seen situations where they'll put a story out one day and then they'll tell you the complete opposite a couple of days later. And then, no word of a lie, a couple of days later, it then goes back to the story it was before. And I'm honestly of the opinion that they are just doing that because they get 3 stories out of one. If they can say, oh, such and such is expected to be at this show, and then a couple of days later say, such and such now looks like they're out, and then a couple of days later say, breaking news, reports emerging that incorrect information, or, you know, they can get 3 stories out of one story. And, you know, Sean Ross Sapp's called this out because we know that over on Facebook, there's people putting nonsense out and then they'll put a link to Sportskeeda and it won't have anything to do with what the post is. So the post will be something like, you know, flipping Jaida Parker out for the rest of the year, click below. And then you click on the link and it's like, here's the results from NXT's house show last night. And there's nothing in there to do with Jaida Parker being injured. There is a really large, it's nonsense. In fact, there are certain YouTube accounts which just do put out nonsense. Tommy told me about them. I've never even seen them myself. For some reason, the algorithm knows that I have no time for it, but that just put out absolute like rubbish, and they have like these dramatic thumbnails and everything, and like, I do file that loss in that column. It's a dark show match that was just for the live crowds, and they just gave Luke Gallows a win, and that was it. I mean, the fact that got onto a thumbnail and it had the word buried and all this kind of stuff, I mean, it's insane. We're actually seeing A-Town Down Under this week. Tomorrow, is it? Oh, well, Friday. They're doing a thing, aren't they, with Braun? They're doing a Grayson Waller effect. So, I mean, we're talking about people that are getting onto TV. We're talking about superstars that are being featured on TV still now. And, you know, they're going to do their split eventually. Why do we think they haven't split yet? Well, I just don't think they've had the time to do it. I don't think there's been the space for it. You know, we're kind of getting towards the end of the year. And honestly, would you be shocked if Grayson versus Austin Theory was a WrestleMania match? Because I wouldn't. I think they see both of them as big stars in the future. I think they see both of them as having like a lot of potential. And we know that there's been issues in this group for a long time. And I think they're just waiting for the right run where we can tell this story. And don't forget, as soon as you get to January, Raw goes to 3 hours. SmackDown goes to 3 hours. And, you know, it gets a lot bigger. Right now, we're having to deal with 4 hours of main roster programming. In literally a few weeks' time, that goes to 6. So, you know, we're going to be dealing with a lot more time. And I think they've probably just parked it. And they're probably just thinking we'll do something as soon as we get to January. So I don't see any concern. I don't see any dramas. I don't see any fires. I don't see any... There's no rumours of any issues or anything. So for me, just, yeah. How can we take a nothing story and make it as big as possible so that we can just get some clicks? And I think the more that you see that happening, the more cynical you become. The more you just sort of get, like, really fed up with it, you know? I suppose, like, I've got a bit more fed up with it since doing Unseen because I just see it a lot more now. Didn't really notice it before, but now that I do Unseen and I, like, you know, get tagged in all this stuff, you start to see some patterns a little bit more and you start to go, this sucks. Honestly, like, we should really be doing better than this. I would love for, like, I don't know. I don't know how you fix it. I don't know how you make it better, but I would love for the wrestling media to be under a bit more scrutiny, you know, and actually drive out some of this fake news nonsense. Not saying that was. I mean, he did lose to Luke Gallows. I'm just saying in general, there is a lot of nonsense. If you go on Twitter a lot, then I'm sure you've seen the same. Andy, hello, said, you should do some Daisy Awards with the best matches and shows of the year through the votes throughout the year. Well, let's get Christmas out the way and maybe we'll do something between Christmas and New Year. But yeah, my focus at the moment is, obviously we've got this stream tomorrow. We've got member stream on Thursday. We've got SmackDown on Friday. We've got Tyson Fury on Saturday. Sunday will be just getting Christmas week set up. We're back on Monday with the stream. We're back on Tuesday with the stream. We've got Christmas Day on Wednesday. I mean, trying to actually sit down within that, because every day we've got Unseen as well. Some of those days we're doing reviews and opinions, obviously, you know, uploading some reaction clips and bits and bobs. I mean, it really adds up, you know. So it's a great idea. I don't want to commit to something that I can't follow through with. So let's get Christmas out the way, and then I will circle and have a look at like 26th to 31st, and we'll look to do something with that. If we do get a chance to do anything, and I'm hoping we will, then I could see that being on the second channel, to be honest. I got rid of dirt sheets in 2023, said Nathan. My life is better for it. I just watch the shows and I judge for myself. Yeah, there are good outlets. I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I don't want to make out that everyone's, you know, bad. I mean, I think Fightful, Sean Ross Sapp do a good job. I know some people have got an issue with maybe how he conducts himself on Twitter, right? Same with Dave, right? The way that Dave conducts himself on Twitter. I don't know why a lot of these journalists have to respond to like so many haters. Because all that seems to do is like fuel the negativity. It seems to be a never-ending cycle, you know, where someone says something, you respond publicly back to it. Not everyone's going to agree with your response. Then other people come out and they've got things to say, so then you respond to them, and it's like this never-ending cycle, right? And I don't know that, you know, I don't know that people really want to see all that playing out in their feeds. I don't think they want to go through Twitter and watch and see all of it. Maybe they do. I don't, but perhaps some do. But I think if you was to beat Sean Ross Sapp with a stick about something, it could only really be that, because I think he's a very good journalist, and I think the info he finds, always seems to be top tier. I mean, he undeniably has got connections. So, I mean, I regard him as being like one of the good ones. I think PW Insider have got a really good hit rate. The jury is very much out on Dave Meltzer in 2024, 2025. We know that there's been issues there this year. It's hard for me to like move away from Dave because he's been doing it 40 years. And I think he does have connections. There was a rumor that went around that WWE are looking to feed him bad info so that it kind of ruins his reputation. But what that would suggest to me is that if they are doing that, it's only because he has got stuff right and he has caused them problems in the past by being correct. And I think he does have connections. I think he's been in this business far too long to not have connections. He's been around 40 years. There's whole generations of wrestlers that have come through that have known of him. And actually one of the criticisms is that too many people in AEW try to please Dave Meltzer. and because of his influence. I don't think the whole AEW thing has helped Dave at all. If you was to look at a graph of the appreciation of Dave Meltzer, it took a nosedive as soon as AEW came along. And, you know, I think he got caught in the tribalism. I think he genuinely prefers the AEW product, and I think it's hard for some people to accept that. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. I'm not bothered. I don't go to Dave for his kind of opinion, if you will, of WWE. I know he doesn't like rate it as high as he does AEW, and that's absolutely fine. But for me, like, I think he's got sources. I think he has connections, and he's definitely been right about stuff in the past. So I don't know. My relationship with him in that regard is a bit strange, because I do now find myself second guessing, like, do I include it? Do I not include it? He is still a name. He has got, like, you know, a newsletter that's been going for 40 years. He knows his history. But equally, he has had some big missteps in 2024. So it's very difficult. It is very, very difficult to know which is the right way forward on that. But at the moment, I'm still listening to what he's saying. And I don't know, the more that things keep going awry, the more that may change. But at the moment, I'm still listening. So I don't know that I can say he's top tier, but he's still on the list, just. But I like Sean Ross. I like PW Insider. I like WrestleVotes if they didn't flipping spoil stuff the day of the show. You know, they tend to come out and be like, oh, we've heard this is happening tonight. And it's like, shut up. If it's the day of the show, if it's like literally an hour before the show's about to start, don't tell me what's going to happen. I don't think that's a good thing. All right, you've proved that you know and you've got some insiders, but finding out something an hour before it happens is flipping close to irrelevant. I'm just going to watch the show. All you've done is ruin the show. If you know about like what the plan is for WrestleMania right now, let me know. That's interesting. That's a good talking point. But if you know that like flipping Hikaleo is going to be on the show tonight, don't tell me right now. Oh, there's 4 minutes till the show. You know what I mean? I'll just watch it. So that's my issue I've got with flipping Wrestle Talk. Other than that, their information tends to be quite good. I think that PW Nexus seemed to be quite good as well. That Featherstone guy that's emerged from the shadows, he seems to be all right at the moment. So I think there's some good people out there. But then you've got the nonsense that kind of follows, which is your ringside news. It basically the people that don't have sources themselves. And I would even include myself in it. I think if it's not coming from the horse's mouth, then, you know, you're relying on them to just use good sources. And honestly, I think some of these people don't. I've got a list of people that I trust, and I won't really touch anything from anyone else. And I'm quite happy with it. I think it's served me well in 2024. I'm looking to do the same in 2025, but there is good out there, but there is bad out there. And someone like Ringside News or a No DQ or, dare I say, a WrestleLamia, I don't know that they have a filter. I think it's just, we'll have it all. We can make a thumbnail out of it. We can make some clickbait out of it. We can get some views out of it. And if it's wrong, it don't matter, because no one's going to remember a few days later. And it's that. That's the dark side of the wrestling media, if you will. So yeah, it's a mixed bag, really. It's a mixed bag. Aaron said, can we do a video of 5 predictions for 2025? Yeah, we could do that. Ping that in a tweet, put it in, and I'll put it in the opinions video, but put it in the opinions video. Right, we got 2 minutes to go, kids. 2 minutes to go. We haven't got time to talk anymore about boomer wrestling news sites. Let's turn our attention to tonight's NXT. Raj is a good source, said Brendan. I don't really use Raj, to be honest. I haven't got anything against him. I'm sure he's great. I just don't really ever see his news. I don't think he's in my list, you know. That's probably why I never see him. But I have no bad stories or bad interactions or anything. I've never seen him report something that's been nonsense or I just rarely see his stuff, actually. I mean, I've got my list of people that I trust, and I've shown that on stream before. And honestly, I cannot tell you how much better it is to do it that way. To have a list of people that you trust, and you just look at those accounts. It is so much better than just venturing out to the wild, wild west and having just any old, like, you know, person spouting nonsense. I just, my enjoyment of social media has increased drastically since I started doing that. I really recommend it. Get yourself a list of people that you trust and just go down that list. Some people might say, oh yeah, but then that's like an echo chamber. But well, it's not an echo chamber because I don't use them for opinion. I just use them for news. Right. We are just waiting for this broadcast to begin. Triple H reveals The Undertaker originally rejected his WrestleMania 40 appearance. Rock had to call him, everyone had to call him, to finally get him to acquiesce to do it. Here we go. We are on the road. The kickoff show is set up, apparently. Kapata, thank you. So the kickoff show is now live on the WWE website. Very good. Together. Bum, bum, bum. Right, let's get rid of that pre-show graphic. In the shadows of Boston. We are in Lowell, Massachusetts. We're seeing the Boomers going into the building. There they are. There's all the Boomers. NXT! There's look at Trick Willie. Trick Willie looking super fly. Trick Willie. There's Eddy Thorpe. Clever boy. Clever boy. Yeah, man. There's Ethan Page looking dejected. There's Javon. That boy is bouncy. Oh, look at the merch. Look at the merch. Let's go, man. I love seeing merch stands, you know. I'd love a video of, like, merch stands throughout the years. That would be fun to go back and see what items you could have bought. I wonder when the first merch stand was. And I wonder what they sold. Obviously, you could always get programs. Get programs going all the way back. But shirts, I wonder when they first started selling shirts. It would have just been shirts, wouldn't it, at first? Shirts. And then I wonder when they started having, like, autograph pictures. And, God, now you can get belts, toys, pendants. You can get it all. But history and merch would be really interesting. Daze is bouncy. Let's go. Former AEW star Jose the Assistant has shared a teaser related to the cryptic video. I think that is gonna be Penta. I'm actually not funny. I'm just really mean and people think I'm joking. Thea Hale says that is the greatest shirt she has ever bought. Do you want to see the greatest shirt that she's ever bought? We have just got a video package at the moment. I'm actually not funny. I'm just really mean and people think I'm joking. So there we go. Lol. Tonight. Eddy Thorpe, Trick Williams, let's go. Dave, do you want to know what the worst part of losing my OG Twitter is? Losing all my 39 wrestler follows and 3 wrestling promotion follows. Well, these things are sent to try us, my friends. Ultimately, what do these things mean? Ultimately, what do these things matter? I was followed by Bray on Twitter, And true story, his account got hacked. I don't know if you remember when that happened. His account was hacked. And so I was sending the hackers like tweets like, leave his account alone, you cowards, and stuff like this, right? You know me. And the flipping blocked me. So I went from having a Bray follow to being blocked by his account. He got it back eventually. I think he did unblock me, actually. But I never got my follow back. Still follows me on Instagram. But I never got my follow back on... and I never will. But what do these things matter, eh? Right. We're seeing people in the crowds. Who's coming out first? Is it Oba Femi? We're going to start with Oba. Bum, bum. Bum, bum. Here he is, look. Ooh. Oba Femi in the entranceway. It's great. Look at the entrance. Look at his little walk. The ruler. Every time I hear ruler, I always think of like a ruler that you know, check measurements against. I did not realise that Liv Morgan's megaphone had Monday Night Morgan written on the side. Didn't know that. Didn't realise. Monday night. I wonder if that's going to be a thing. Monday Night Morgan. She did mention it for the first time, didn't she, on Raw? I could see that being a shirt. Everything's a flipping shirt. Oba Femi making his way down to the ring, and Booker T is very excited. Very excited. Daze, are you streaming NXT New Year is Evil on January 7th? Yes. Imagine they fumble Oba Femi and trick on the main roster, said Brony. That would suck. James said, when I hear ruler of the world, I think Psycho Sid's. Wrestling said, this is like the Royal Albert Hall. Have you been drinking? Have you been drinking, mate? You think this is like the Royal Albert Hall? Christmas has started early for some people. You know, sometimes we can just have that one too many iron brews. Here's Axiom making the way down with Nathan Frazier. Daze, what's the opinion on fans wanting top baby faces to turn heel? We had the same with Cena, Reigns, and now Rhodes. I think people get just bored, don't they? But I don't think it's normal to get this bored this quickly. We've gone from a very passionate we want Cody to like we want him to now turn heel. Again, for me, it's the minority at the moment, but we know it's going to grow. As soon as people start to hear these rumblings historically always grow. And yeah, I think it's you know, I can't say it's unexpected. I think it's normal. As you said, we've seen it before, but it's just come a bit quickly this time. I think it's a real sign of the booking, isn't it? There's only so many times you can put Cody in matches that we just don't believe is in any danger. I mean, really, since he won the title, I'm not sure there's really been much of a match where we've had much doubt. Certainly didn't think he was going to struggle against AJ Styles. Didn't think he would lose to Kevin. I didn't think he'd lose to Kevin here, although there was some that thought he might lose and then win it back. But and with Netflix coming up, you can sort of understand that. But I think people have just got a bit bored with it all. There's just no good juicy story. There's nothing like that. We'll maybe tell him one now, you know. Problem is though, he's cheated, isn't he? Boomer flipping cheated and used a chair, and now there's like question marks, and Kevin is making some really good points about why he's upset, and so people are now going, oh, I think Kevin's got a point, you know. But as I've said in videos, Kevin also physically beat up his friend, which for me is where he crossed the line. People don't seem to want to talk about that. People don't seem to want to talk about the fact that he beat up Cody after Bad Bloods, and that was a line crossed. Even if he is making points which you can relate with and understand. Right now, Oba has working on Axiom. Axiom is down. I wish Frazier had better music than just their singles themes merged. Right now, Oba grabbing Axiom. Axiom against the ropes. Goes off. He gets chopped by Oba. Axiom goes to the outside. That was a brutal chop, mate. That was a brutal chop. Rhea Bloody Ripley, shout out to you. That new Cora Jade shirt. Well, I've actually got it here. It's actually right in front of me right now. What does it say? Generation of Jade. We are at commercial break, by the way. I don't know why she's doing that. Eh? There we go. Generation of Jades. Cora Jade. Okay, commercial break. WWE would have 2 announce tables. I don't know. We're in an actual arena, says Capata. People get bored. When I was a kid, I loved Hogan. When I was 14, I didn't need the All-American hero anymore, said Nathan. It is true, people get bored. I just think that they've got a bit bored of Cody a bit too quick than you would want them to. And I don't even think they have. I still think it's the minority. But people seem to have got a bit... I don't think that they've bought into Kevin's, point of view, which is understandable because I think he's made an excellent point. People are loving... Trenton's loving that Cora Jade shirt. Daze, I had a thought. With social media being a cesspit of tribalism, what changes could the wrestling companies make to change it for a better place? Well, you just need to stop having the hatred between the companies, don't you? You just need mutual respect. You just need, companies showing respect to each other. It's obviously going to be a difficult thing for WWE to do because they're number one. And, they're not interested in any other company coming and taking that away from them. They don't have anything to gain. This is why I've said, AEW taking shots at WWE, that is a decision they have taken. WWE taking shots back at AEW, I can sort of understand a bit more. They don't need AEW. AEW is an inconvenience to WWE because they are number one, and there is a company which is trying to take that away from them, Make no mistake about it, AEW would love to be number one. So you can sort of understand why WWE are like, who's this boomer, right? But AEW did not need to take that approach with WWE. They could have come in and gone, we love WWE. We love what they do. We love what they, present. We're big fans. We're really inspired. We just want to do something similar on a Wednesday. We just want to, find our own kind of lane, if you will. And we're going to just put on the best wrestling that we can. Something along those lines, We're just gonna try and do the best that we can. And but that's not the approach they took, and as a result, we just fueled the tribalism. I think it's hard now. I think that there would need to be a change. I think I don't know if Tony would have to go, but I feel like it's like in a football team, you need a new manager. If you got rid of Tony and he just worked behind the scenes, and you had say Daniel Bryan as the face of the company, one of the first things he could say is, "We're not here to compete or fight with anyone else. We're just trying to get our own piece of the pie. We're just trying to mind our own lane. The time for tribalism is over. We would love to have as many people watching as possible. We're not looking to be, just change the narrative, change the messaging. And I think that would go some way. Not everyone would buy it. You're still going to have accounts out there that are still going to lay into them. You know, haters are going to hate now. But I think you can turn that temperature down. Oba Femi with a big clothesline. We are back to the action. And Oba Femi is in control. Axiom's had a few moments. Oh, mate. He just cranked on the arm. That was brutal. Trying to pull the flipping thing out the socket here. Axiom, he's got his shoulder bandaged as well. Big chop. Nathan Frazier not looking very comfortable on the outside of the ring. Oba Femi again working on the arm of Axiom. Axiom throws in a strike to Oba Femi. Daze, how do we feel about the arena? I don't like it, says Matteo. Well, this one, I think it's fine. I like different spaces. There's a lot of space at the top, isn't there? Where you've got like people on the ground, you've got a balcony, and then there's like a lot of nothingness. But, you know, I mean, look, NXT is the developmental brand, so you can't play to big. I mean, ideally, you'd like that top bit to go back a bit further, ideally, of course, or even another level above it. But, you know, this is NXT. It's not going to be packing out like big attendances. So, I don't know. It's different vibe. I mean, I'd much rather this than just the PC, to be honest. Mix it up. Get out there. Have a look at some different spaces. Shots coming in. Kick coming in there by Axiom. Axiom goes down. Daze, we need a world of respect and love. We need Nirvana, said Christopher. Shot coming in there by Axiom. Not within the community, just outside the community. The community should be an absolute cesspit. Drop kick. Ah, lovely there by Axiom. Drop kicks the leg of Oba Femi. Oba Femi goes down. Axiom walking round. Oba Femi is down on the ground at the moment. Kick. Oh, brutal kick to the head. One, just a one. Brutal kick to the head there by Axiom. And again, oh, mate, that was great. Another great looking kick. Two. Oh, that could have been a three. Oba rolled through. Reversed by Axiom, going for the cover. Two. I tell you, he's getting close. Mate, there was a great drop kick there. Good. Really good. Oba Femi down. Really good. NXT. So, we're actually on the stage, aren't we? Which is strange. The hard cam's on the stage. I just noticed, like, there's a whole stage behind where the hard cam is. It's better that way. I think what we're seeing is better than having the stage in the shot. Axiom's going up, perched. Boom! Big drop kick, missile drop kick, and a kip up. Lovely. Axiom cooking here, you know. We've got some cooking going on. Do you know what? Axiom should release a cookery book because he is cooking right now. It's turned into a kitchen nightmare. Oba Femi coming over, grabbing Axiom, powerbomb. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's lost. Yeah. Oh dear. Whoopsie. Do you remember that on Mortal Kombat? Whoopsie. Oba Femi gets the job done. Not a surprise. I suppose the surprise was that Axiom had as much offense in as what he thought he would. Oh, there's a new Robert Stone shirt, is there? Have we seen that before? Look at that. Robert Stone business suit t-shirts. How many of them are selling, do you reckon? Are you walking into a pub with that on? It's very specific. Stevie Turner says, why is it reduced? Well, here's Eddy Thorpe. I'm brilliant. He is brilliant. He is brilliant. I fooled everyone. For all the know-it-alls out there, that's you. If it was anyone else, you would call them a mastermind. Here's Ava. Ava. You took a shortcut, yeah? He's genius for it. Do you want to know how many times I've heard work smarter, not harder? Could you imagine if he wins? Imagine if he wins. I don't give him any chance of winning, but what if he wins? By the end of tonight, you will call me NXT champ. WWE Hall of Famer has defended the idea of bringing Tessa back. Who's this? Booker T has defended the idea. Tessa is back in TNA, and the thing is, I've already seen criticism of Tessa being back. People still want to cancel her. Get off it, man. Get off it. The thing is, if something was said, if an apology was made and fences were mended, we should be able to move on. One thing about certain things, for instance, that get out on social media, everyone knows about it, but no one knows what's really going on. Everyone knows about the story, but no one knows what's going on. I would just like to say, for instance, I had 2 girls at Reality of Wrestling that had beef. You need to straighten this out. You need to squash that beef. On social media, perhaps on social media they pick it up, but social media doesn't know that these 2 have now mended that fence. They have been down that road working together. They have tagged together and everything is good. So my thing is, guys, get off all this hate. Let Tessa hopefully try and resurrect her career. Go out there and redo this thing. Let's look at it as that, as a redo. I think some people would do that, but I was it Jim, actually, that said the apology should be as loud as the incident? Like, I don't know that we know that she has kind of apologized for what happened or even taken ownership for what has happened. So you can sort of understand why people are still like that. That's how they are. That's how I was. That was one of the craziest segments of the... what's this? What are you showing me, Boomer? Is it taped tonight? Am I getting spoilers? I better not be getting spoilers. I don't want spoilers. Big Stepper, Underground Mecca. That's not even on, but I love the song. Marty Scurll was accused of being beep, and he's still in wrestling, says James. I don't know where is he? And should he be? Was it true? I don't know. AAA in 2023. Puerto Rican promotion CWA. I don't know. I don't know where he is. Apparently he appeared on Take Me Out. Did you know that? In 2012, he appeared on UK dating show Take Me Out, in which he attempted to find a date. Did you know this? I didn't know that. This women's division is fantastic, said A. Jobson. Oba Femi defeats Axiom. It's a very good match. I gave it a B-, said Blue Will Sonic. William said any story can be equated into an algorithm and regurgitated over eons due to the social construct. Selected memory is an evolutionary marvel. It allows the same story to be told indefinitely. But the other thing as well is that you're not hitting the same people. So, you know, I mean, there's not loads of us that can have the luxury of catching up with the wrestling news every day. So it can easily be that a lot of people, you know, just get bits and bobs once in a while. So they might not see these same patterns, you know. So, yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, a lot of this is about making money, isn't it? And views, clicks, likes, they make the world go round. Talking of likes, yeah? Why don't you be a Christmas cherub and leave a like on the stream? I think she should come out with a video and apologise, said Shakeem. I honestly don't know what she should do. I can't sit here and say this is what she should do, but I think the problem is, you're right, people don't know if she has took ownership and apologised. Everyone heard about the situation. Even if she came out and said it's done, it's dealt with, you know, in an interview or something, or came out and said, like, you know, I've grown up, I've matured, what happened was unacceptable. I don't know. I don't know. It's so difficult to know what she should do or say. But it does feel like not saying anything and just sort of hoping everyone forgets and moves on. I don't know that that's going to work. But then it's also nothing to do with me. I don't watch TNA. LA Knight out with an injury. Wine and Spirits said, we've got an announcement. We're sad to announce that WWE superstar LA Knight is unable to attend our event on December 27th. Braun Strowman is going to replace him due to injury. Here is Carmen. Who's that boomer in the background? Some blonde boomer in the background. You should apologise. Who's she talking to? Is she on her own? Is she talking to the fridge? Oh, no, there is a woman there. Thanks, Dion. Oh, my God, bring it in. Here's Ashanti. You're just hugging. Yeah. Stevie's loving what she's seeing here. Yeah. She cheated. I'm going to text. Yeah, you text her. He's going to text Nikita. You effed up, Carmen. You can't go around hugging other guys when you're in a relationship. Yeah. You effed up as well. Look at all these boomers that effed up. Look, Dion doesn't even care. He's just gone back to his book. Unbelievable. She was rubbing her boobs all up against him, and then she's like, what just happened? Oh, I don't know. You was rubbing your boobs up against another man. What do you think? Honestly. Oh dear, what just... Oh God, what's gone wrong? Yeah, what do you think's gone wrong? Huh? Play the damsel in distress. Then play the innocent party with me, love. I see straight through your lies. Tag match. So, it is going to be Lash and Jakara versus Zarya. Who's the other boomer? Sol. There we go. Daze, if Natalya loses, Who is your fill-in? I won't have one, Matteo. I will literally just cry for the rest of the year. I will just go into mourning. Drop kick there by Jakara. Jakara starting us off with Soul. You can never not pay attention to Soul, although I am just momentarily not doing that so I can write the scores down. That was great great 54. Over in the corner goes Soul. Jakara charges over. She gets caught. She's got caught. Spinning around. Boom. And then she is doing a bit of a surfboard. Whoa. Groovy. Eric, shout out to you, my friends. William said, if Daze gets 1,000 likes, I will not perv or curse, says William. That's not happening. Neither of those things are happening. Ashanti could be the Gimp father. His motto could be Gimping ain't easy. Oh my god, and he could have a little mask and everything. Down goes Soul. Lash, boom, elbow drop. Who's your favourite NXT girl, says Matteo. Favourite? I don't know if I have a favourite. I like watching Julia and Stephanie. Favourite? Jaida. I might have given Jaida most improved, you know. Lola Vice won most improved, but I think I would have given it to Jaida Parker. Jaida Parker feels like a big star to me. I feel like she could carry the NXT women's title quite comfortably. She's had some good matches with Lola Vice. I've really enjoyed watching her. She's got a bit of something to her. Lash has been a great improvement as well. Shows done at the Performance Center, it works. I mean, it was not that long ago that the idea of watching Lash Legend wrestle would have made me cry. She was really bad at first. Do you remember she had that show during NXT 2.0? Was it Lashing Out or something? Lashing Out with Lash Legend. And she had guests on. Only lasted a few weeks, I think. But then she would wrestle and it was awful. But she's so much better now. And she's got a good size to her as well. So, yeah, I mean, listen, it's a brilliant women's division. But I feel like I'm really enjoying watching Jaida Parker at the moment. Roxanne's great. Got time for Roxanne. Wren has really come through. I think she was always a great talent. I know that James, a lot of people in the chat were high on her when she first came in. It's just great to see her getting some opportunity now. I think putting her in No Quarter Catch Crew has been great. Boom, super kick. Lash is still bad, says Jake. Oh, Jake, you need to go back and watch what she was like. Look at this, Sol Ruka off the top. Whoa! Comes crashing down. Onto Lash. Zarya picks up Jakara. Boom! Jakara lands on Lash. They all go down. Sol and Zarya celebrate him. You just answered my question without even seeing it. Let's go! Yeah! Look at me. That's skill and luck. I was thinking Lash wasn't quite as annoying as she once was. She doesn't get lost as well in matches. Like, sometimes you can see those sort of happy feet where they're kind of like, now I do this. When someone's like new, you can see they have a few moves. But when they're trying to connect it, it's like, right, now we do. You can see their brain going, now we do this. This is what we do next. Like, it doesn't flow. And they only have like a few moves that they can do. And so they get them in. And really everything else is just... But this is part of the journey, right? I'm not down on it. Like, you all start somewhere. Everyone starts somewhere. But it is so interesting to see where someone was and then compare it to where they are now and actually look at that improvement. And I think if you're a real wrestling fan, seeing the difference between those two is very insightful. It's very interesting to see where they've improved, how their matches look compared to the start. I mean, I would really recommend going back to like early matches for any of the superstars, really, when they first appeared. Have a look at like NXT Level Up. That's a lot of people's first matches. You could go to NXT Level Up. I remember when I first saw Lola Vice, that was on NXT Level Up. So you could watch her match from that and then compare it to what she does now. And it's like night and day. And Performance Center's brilliant. It's one of the things I think AEW need. What if Punk's favour is for Heyman to get another 3-man Shield type group for him? That would be cool, said Ali. I don't think it'll be something that big. That would be more than a favour, I think. Like, can you put a group together for me? I feel like a favour is, can you get me, a title match? Can you get me, the main event spot at WrestleMania? Like, it's something that feels a little bit more temporary, if you will, rather than, some people were saying, what if it's, you're going to be my wise man now? It's like, well, hang on, that's forever. That's not really a favour. The favour is I want you to now be my wise man. That's not really a favour. That's more of a permanent arrangement. So I don't see it being that. Get me a couple of guys to form a group is a bit more realistic, actually, I think. But I don't know that it'll be that. I'm thinking at the moment it's going to be help me get a title shot, help me get the main event spot at WrestleMania or something along those lines. Or, I don't know, perhaps he's outnumbered with some faction and he needs Roman or Jay, and Heyman can arrange that for him. I don't know. I think it's interesting. What is that going to be? I don't think we actually had a chance to do a video on that after it had happened, which we probably should have. Orton, Cena, Punk all started at the bottom and look at them now, said Christopher. Well, everyone had their first day, didn't they? Yeah, everyone had their first day. Jake said, I won my amateur MMA fight this weekend. Well, congrats, buds. Congrats. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay, Sol Ruka is in there with Lash. Duck underneath by Sol. Up over the top. Oh. There we go. Grabbing Sol. She stayed on her feet. She chucks Sol into the corner. Charges over. Roll up there by Sol. 2. Kick out by Lash. Lash is up. Forearm strike. Sol goes down. Tag made. And in comes Jakara. Cameron Wrestling. Shout out to you, my friend. Don't know what we're doing here, but bang. Daze theory, Cena wins the Rumble, faces Cody at Mania, and then beats Flair's records. Could happen. Oh, splash down comes Jakara. Kick out there by Sol. So we are 38 minutes into this show. Cameron Wrestling, shout out to you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying NXT. Right now, Jakara has got Sol all kinds of tied up. Zarya on the outside of the ring. Now she is... Oh, that's a lovely stretch. And she's got her knees in the back as well. But Sol is trying to get up to her feet. She goes over. She pins Jakara. Jakara kicks out. Jakara on her feet. Forearm strike there by Jakara. Sol going over to the corner. Wow, there was an elbow there and Lash went down. Right now, middle of the ring. Round the back. Roll up. Looking for the cover. Kick out. No. Sol goes down. Jakara's stopping her as Sol's trying to get over to make that tag. She's trying to make the tag. She's on her feet. Boom. Misses. Misses with the kick, but Zarya just cannot get into this match. Nice. Tag mates. Boom. Down it goes. Chikara, another big boots. Zarya is finally in the ring. Right now, Zarya is looking to go against the rope. She does. Chikara, boom! Big spear! Chikara down. 1, 2. Lash makes the save. I don't know that I need this match going this long. Feels like we could wrap this baby up. I think the... chop block. I think the team of Sol and Zarya is just a bit hard for me to get behind because they're both great singles wrestlers, but I don't really care for them as a team. Just shows the state, doesn't it, of women's tag wrestling in NXT. We've just chucked 2 boomers together. Looking for a suplex. She's got... Oh, she can't get Lash up. She's trying. She's trying. She's trying. She's got her. Boom. Wow. Suplex there by Zarya. Now, Sol. Springboard splash. 1, 2. Oh, how did that just distract the ref? The ref was counting, and I think the shoulders were still down, but because Chikara was in the air, he was like a magpie with a shiny item. He was like 1, 2. What's that? What's that in the? He couldn't do the 3. You're asking too much. 1, 2. Oh God, what's happening up there? What's that? Oh, it's Chikara. Dude, could you not have just counted the 3 first? Right, here we go. Lash has got Sol. Oh, look at this. I don't know what she calls this. The bully drop. 1, 2, 3. Lash wins with the bully drop. Bully drop, bully drop, bully drop. Bully drop, bully drop. Well, there we go. Zarya is NXT. That's confirmed. That is confirmed. Sol Ruka loses every match she's in. Why, says Brony? Because she's a loser. She's rubbish, mate. She can do all the flippity-floppity stuff, but she can't get that sweet, sweet dub. Oh, hello. What's happening now? We got Tyson. We got Tyreek. There's Wes. Oh, my God. He could form a new MSK. Tyson, Tyreek arguing. He walked off, didn't he, last week? It's about checks and championships. Tell you what. Wes likes what he's hearing. Maybe you need to reevaluate, Tyson, how things really work around here. That energy will take you places you want to go. Yeah. Okay, is this Jaida or is it OTM or who's coming out now? Yeah, let's go. Jaida, Parker and OTM are with her. Jaida, Parker, let's go. Jaida, Parker, Wren, Sinclair, let's go. This will be great. Jaida versus Wren. This will be fun. Jaida against Sinclair, said Suzanne. It's going to be good. Lash and Chikara beat Zarya and Sol, but the match was okay. I give it a D+, said Blue Will Sonic. Jaida is such a damn star, says James. I watched a documentary about human trafficking. I have no friends in that trade, said William. Anyone else think he does have friends in that trade? Ali said, I want to see Lash and Jakara join Belair on SmackDown with the Street Profits for a new group, says Ali. One week Jaida is with OTM, next week she isn't, said Tom. Yeah, make your mind up, you boomer. They're either your friends or they're not your friends. Can't have it both ways. Wesley was listening in on Tyreek as he rants about how he and Tyson lost to Hank and Tank. Well, you would rant, wouldn't you? Wes said that Tyreek is right, and it's Tyson that needs to reevaluate. Okay, we are at commercial break. Please can people let us know if you have never been spoken to or acknowledged in the chat and feel a little bit left out, said Fortnite. In 2025, we will do more to make your point heard. Oh, that's great. Yeah, it would be nice to hear from some new people. I just read what I see. Heel Bianca without the braid paired with Lash and Jakara would be fun, and for Belair, new hair equals new me, said Dominic the writer. Mudrick has been found guilty of taking a banned substance. This has messed up Arsenal's transfer window plan, said Fortnite. Losing to Hank and Tank isn't a bad thing considering how good Hank and Tank are. They're the modern day Hardy Boys, said Brony. I think everyone is saying that. Suzanne said, Daze, you are way behind. I know. I'm still stuck in the golden era. I love that era. Oh, my God. I'm still stuck in 87. It's still Hogan Andre to me. I just ignore people I don't like or care about, said James. It's a good strategy. It's a good strategy. Guys, if you haven't heard, I'm having a Brat Summer as well, by the way. I've decided, I've seen so many end of the year polls of everyone talks about their favourite album and Brat keeps getting mentioned. I'm having my Brat Summer now. So I'm going through that now. Apparently it's Bryn again has done a compilation, which I can't watch because it's probably got a lot of like music in it. Wrestling Daze was so brat on the Wrestling Escape Pods. This edit is by me. So there's an edit of me having my Brat Summer, which I'm still going through. But I can't watch it or play it because it's probably got, like, you know, brat in it. And I can't actually have brat in my Brat Summer. I can't play the brat songs in my Brat Summer. That's so not brat. It's quite confusing what brat is, actually. But that's not brat. I'm going to miss all these flipping nonsense adverts from like 20 years ago. You know, like a Liv Morgan documentary that's like 20 years old. And we have to watch that because they can't be bothered to air any new any new commercials. I'm going to miss them. Good evening, everyone, said Undercover Manager. Hope you're all good. Evening, Days. I hope you're good with the murmurs of disdain towards Cody. Should he have a horseman-type group around him? Ethan Page plus A-Town Down Under. I don't know why people are coming into these rumours and murmurs getting a little louder now, are they? Have they got a bit louder today? I thought they might. To me, it's still the minority. So, no. I would keep him face. But he did use that chair. There is no denying that. And he was a very naughty boy for doing it, in my mind. Corbin said, this is a hot take. Do Hank and Tank remind you of the Hype Bros? I feel like that's a closer comparison, to be honest. Certainly now they're trying to be a bit quicker and a bit more, you know... exciting, shall we say. They tend to operate at like a quicker speed now. Jaida pushes Wren. Wren trying to go down and grab a single leg. But that did not go well for her. I always say it, and I can't not say it. Like, Wren's ring gear, it does not leave much to the imagination from the backside department, does it? Do you know what I mean? It sort of feels like it's see-through. Wren is taking some shots to the midsection. Jade comes crashing down. She does the... Yeah, let's go. She did the dance. That's why she's the best, because she does that dance. One. We got a one. Kick out there by Wren. Daze, out of the new crop coming through the Performance Center, who do we think will have a decent 2025? I think it'll be the usual names, to be honest. The usual suspects. I don't know about the next in line talent or when they join us. Obviously, Hikuleo's coming in. That's going to be an interesting development. I think Lance Anoa'i is actually part of the new class. I'd imagine there'll be a breakout tournament. But actually, you know, we'll see some people move on. Trick will probably go up. Roxanne will probably go up. Maybe Julia. I don't know. Depends. Asuka spent a little bit of time in NXT. So do they move with Julia quick? Is there a need? Do you keep her in NXT a little bit? Not sure. But, yeah, it's going to be your Jaidas, your Lolas. It's going to be your... I think Nathan Frazier, when he breaks away, will be really good. I mean, I'm really impressed with what we just saw from Axiom there against Oba. Obviously Oba, but he'll probably get called up. I'm interested in OTM. I like OTM. I think they're a good team. I really like Tavian Heights. But I don't know that he'll do much outside of being in a tag team with Miles. I do really like Tavian. I wonder what Duke Hudson will do now that Chase U has split. Because I feel like from that sort of NXT 2.0 class, he's so gone under the radar. If you think about all the others that are like Trick, Carmelo, Grayson Waller, you know, that have kind of either been called up or they're in a great spot. Tony D'Angelo. Duke Hudson's just been part of, like, standing in the background of Chase U. I think it's very much time to shiz or get off the pot if you're Duke. Big chops coming back here by Wren. Clothesline. Down goes Jaida. Wren. Boom. Bulldog. Nice. Take that, you biz. Knee to the midsection. Roll to the outside. With rumours of Kenny Omega's contract coming up early 2025, could he be signed for Mania? He's broken, isn't he? He's made out of glass. OTM are brawling with Tavian and Miles. I'm down for that feud. I like both of these teams. But Jaida has got... Oh, she did have Wren. Wren pushes Jaida into the edge of the ring. Jaida goes into the ring. Wren on the outsides. She gets in the ring. She's on her knees. Oh, roll up. 1, 2. No joy. Goes over. Nice. She is looking for... back elbow there by Jaida. Wren goes down. Jaida against the ropes. Hip attack. Gets it. 1, 2, 3. Do you know what? That was fine. That was fun. Good. Some nice moments. Yeah, good win for Wren Sinclair. I mean, that's a... Someone has to win. Someone has to lose. I'm glad it's clean. Giving them props for that. Oh, here's Shotzi and Tatum and Gigi. You guys save me. Shotzi did come to the rescue. And I'm thinking her short-term future is in NXT. I don't have to play by myself anymore. That's such an iconic moment. Oh my God. It's such an iconic moment. It's got to be one of the best turns. A lot of people will say Tommaso turning on Johnny, but I really think that is up there. I don't know that I can say it's better, but that kick is brutal as well. Doles out, bowls out. The freaks of NXT all found each other. Okay, so we've got Fatal Influence. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn are backstage. There's a lack of unity in Fatal Influence. So where's this going next week? Match next week. Because next week's taped in it. Oh, here we go. Looks like we're going to the attack. They're doing that next. Jeez. You couldn't put it in the main event. Give the guy a break. Axiom had to face Oba, and then literally, what, an hour later, not even that, he's got to go again. God. Help a brother out. Daze, we always talk about the goats of wrestling, but who are the woats? Who are the worst? For me, Brooklyn Brawler. The dude with Hernandez in Mex America in TNA and Carly, he moved like a fridge. I like Brooklyn Brawler. I'd struggle with Brooklyn Brawler because I think you need enhancement talent, and I think Steve Lombardi was good at what he had to do. So I would struggle with Brooklyn Brawler. I have no problem with Great Khali being in that list. I think early Eva Marie is really bad. See, Eva Marie, when the channel first started, I was really down on Eva Marie, but the reason for that was because she was not a trained wrestler. She was a model that came through like the Diva search or whatever, and they tried to turn her into a wrestler, but I don't think she got the training that she needed before they tried to do that, and she was so... I mean, I would say even borderline dangerous, to be honest. So I remember the early part of the channel being me just being really down and really off with Eva Marie, because to me, she just did not belong in the ring. I thought she was dangerous. I thought she was, well, she was bad, but I thought she was actually at the start even dangerous. She got better, of course, as she did more reps and whatever, but I don't know. I wouldn't be too down on including her in the list. And then, you know, your Giant Gonzalez is in the mix as well. I think Undertaker regards him as the worst he ever had to face. Of all the people he faced, Giant Gonzalez is the one that he tends to mention quite a lot. So, yeah, a few names come to mind. Please don't bring her name up, said Shaquem. Yeah. Don't bring that name up. Eva Marie, what a train wreck, said Dr. Lucha Lala. I kind of feel a bit sorry for her, to be honest, you know, because she was brought in to do a job, and I mean, she did that job, but she was never a trained wrestler. She never claimed to be a trained wrestler. She never, like, you know, that was not what she was brought in for. So I feel really sorry for her, to be honest. It's not really her fault. But I still blame her. I like Gallus. I like the idea of them going to work with Drew, said Vic. James Ellsworth, said American Nightmare. Well, he was a wrestler that was, you know, an indie wrestler. He was not a great wrestler, but that was his job. I think there's a difference between those people that really struggle with wrestling, you know. You could make the argument for someone like Omos at the start, or you could make the argument for Eva Marie, or you could make the argument for Great Khali, or you could make the argument for Giant Gonzalez. We're talking about people here that struggle with actually wrestling. I think there's a big difference between that bracket of people and then the bracket of people that are just enhancement talent, you know? Like James Ellsworth wasn't a bad wrestler at what he did. He could wrestle. He could perform the role. It's just he would lose all the time. But that was his job, you know? Same with Brooklyn Brawler. His job was to lose all the time. Or Barry Horowitz. Job was to lose all the time. Or Dwayne Gill. Lost all the time. But there's a big difference between those people that can wrestle, but they perform that enhancement talent role, compared to people that actively struggle with wrestling and find wrestling itself a challenge. You know, you could put on like Ronda Rousey the only reason I wouldn't have Ronda in the list is because I think her tag match at WrestleMania was really well received. And I thought she had a great street fight with Charlotte when they were walloping each other with fighting in the crowds. I think they did one at Survivor Series that was good as well. Like, I can find some really fun Ronda matches, but they always tend to be anything goes matches. They always tend to be street fights. Actually, like, wrestling matches. She was obviously super limited. Super limited. And we know her promos were nowhere near up to standard. But I can't put her in the same bracket as a Great Khali or Giant Gonzalez, where even their movement was painful, you know? Lumbered. Everything was just so hard. I mean, you'd say Andre at the end. Honestly, Andre the Giant at the end with his body breaking down. I mean, Andre was just a train wreck towards the end of his career. He was just Andre the Giant, star name, but actually what he provided was just, it was gone. His mobility was gone. His body was breaking down. He was in a really bad place. It's heartbreaking, really, you know. You run until the wheels come off, you know. And that he did. You could say Flair. I mean, is there has there been a worse performance than what we saw from Ric Flair's last match? When he legitimately was passing out. He passed out twice during the match. He came out drunk. He said he wasn't drunk. He said that he had a few drinks, but he wasn't drunk. But he certainly came out and walked and acted like he was drunk. And then he was like passing out and all of that. So, but again, we're talking about periods of people's careers rather than them as actual wrestlers, you know. What about Eli Cottonwoods? Well, yeah, Eli Cottonwoods. I mean, he was early Bray Wyatt, wasn't he? Big guy. I don't know that feels a bit harsh, doesn't it, putting in people from NXT? I think in NXT you're learning and you're in developmental. I don't know if there should be different compared to a Great Khali or a Giant Gonzalez or an Eva Marie who was flipping competing on PLEs. I think if you're in developmental, probably you get some extra leeway. Some names that have not been mentioned. Eve, the second one, is right back, and I'm scared of this, said Shaquem. I saw Tony Storm in that package. We do have a video package of the Women's Championship at the moment. I don't actually know where it's going. Julia Roxanne is what they're promoting. Here's a graphic. Julia Roxanne New Year's Evil. Tickets on sale. We're going to be in Los Angeles, baby. Okay, here's Gallus. So, tag title match. Okay, we're into the second hour as well. Let's end this poll. Jaida, Wren, let's see what you lot scored it. You gave it 64 good, 20% great, 14 all time, 0% bads. So that is 100% goods. 87. Have we got the older one? Yes. Okay, the other one was good 98. So far, first match, great 54. Then it was good 98. Then it was good 100. Here's Frazier making their way down to the ring. I remember Asuka Ember Moon at NXT TakeOver. That was a banger, said Blue Will Sonic. And awesome. Best match ever. What venue are we at tonight? I don't know. We're at Lowell, Massachusetts, but I don't know the name of the venue. Here we go. Nathan Frazier's trying to G up Axiom. As Axiom makes his way to the ring, he looks pretty battered. This is going to be a challenge, isn't it? This is going to be a challenge for Axiom to get through this. We could see the tag titles changing hands here. I don't think it's impossible. This could be a doctor stoppage, says Booker T. This could be a doctor stoppage. Okay, we got NXT Championship graphic up. Titles on the line. Are we going to get a new champion? Axiom is paying tribute to Sean after being attacked by 9 thugs. Here we go. Yeah. Axiom's like, why am I starting the match? And so he tags in Nathan. Nathan is a deviated septum, apparently, is what Nathan is dealing with. He's got a face mask on as a result. Nathan goes into the corner, over the top, flips over. Great work there by Nathan. Nathan, in a way, is very similar with those flips to EO. He's like the male EO. Just a bit taller and a bit faster. Tyler said, Daze, what happened to the OC or the Good Brothers? I think, isn't it, Carl Anderson's got injury. And so I think that means Gallus is kind of on his own now. I am right, aren't I, that Anderson is injured? Let's have a look. Oh, good work there by Gallus. Yeah, a month ago. Carl Anderson out for 9 months. Carl Anderson has struggled for TV time, competing just 16 times across WWE's 3 brands. And he's out for 9 months. What was it? His shoulder. 9 months. He has torn his rotator cuff. So that's it. Tyler is out injured, but Axiom is in the match now. Nathan Frazier going over. Checking on Axiom. Nathan going against the ropes. Through the ropes. Lands on Mark Coffey. Axiom goes over the other side. He lands on Joe Coffey. Frazier lands on Mark Coffey again. Axiom trying to go against the ropes, but he falls down. Yeah, he was trying to go against the ropes, but he just collapsed. And now Wolfgang! With Uranagi, this is a big problem for the tag champs, you know. This is a big problem. We might get new tag team champs. We might get new tag team champs. Axiom is having a nightmare. We've gone to commercial break. But these tag titles are very much up for grabs. Is tonight the night that Fraxium lose the titles? I don't know if they would split tonight. But we've been waiting for Fraxium to split for so long. Doing it like either this week or next week, you know, just before Christmas. They could lose the titles tonight. They could split next week. You know, they could address each other and talk about the future of Fraxium, and then could happen. I'll be surprised if Fraxium win, said Suzanne. I can see Axiom losing the match. He'll blame the 2 matches. He'll get in a Frazier feud because Frazier will say, well, I was in 2 matches. I won. Yep. I think I agree. Every night. Every night. Every night. We're bringing the show of shows to Las Vegas. The allegiance, that is going to be such a big show. That's got to be one of the biggest. I don't mean size-wise. It probably is, but you know, it's such a new stadium as well. And like the Super Bowl was there, was it earlier this year at Allegiant Stadium? Such a big show. Gallus boys on effing top said Wrestle Nights. K-Dub said, I think they'll tease the loss tonight, but they'll lose them soon after. Well, should we do a poll? Let's do a poll. I want to know what people are thinking. Are we getting new tag champs tonight? Yes or no? Don't be shy. I'm pumped for Penta. I want to see what they're going to do with him and how they use him before Rey Fenix is set free. Do you think that Batman and Robin are going to split up? I don't know. Hopefully not over Christmas. I still need to see the Batman movie from a few years ago. It got really good reviews. I would go out my way to try and watch Joker too, but it's a musical and I don't do musicals because they're lame. And apparently that film's lame as well. Are we doing anything for the final day of the last day of the network? Binging anything or just leaving the memories alone? Just recording. I think I've got all the Saturday night's main events recorded now. And, I mean, I'm trying to think about things that... Do you know what I recorded the other day? The 3-hour Lex Express video that's on the network. So it's like, it's got footage of all the people trying to slam Yoko. Then I think it's got all the existing footage from him on the coach. And then it's got footage of the... I didn't need the SummerSlam match because I've already got that on DVD. But I recorded that the other day. And I'll be recording more this week as well. Thank you very much. I'm a little less panicked now that I know I can get a lot of stuff on Peacock. I was under the impression there was less on Peacock than there is. So I don't feel as panicked. But, yeah, I still want to get some bits and bobs recorded. Going for the cover. Here is the thing, said, why do people think that Penta's coming? It seems to me that Ethan Page reuniting with his old tag partner, Josh Alexander, whose contract ended in TNA, people have asked to take pay cuts. Well, both of those things can still happen. The words backstage are that the logo that was shown is in relation to Penta. There's only one Batman and Robin, and they're Del Boy and Rodney. Let's go. What are the community getting you for Christmas, Spartan? What they're getting me for Christmas, Spartan, is that they're going to join us on Saturday for the big boxing stream and they're going to leave a like. And that is going to be so appreciated. It's going to be so appreciated. It's our last major stream of the year. Boom! Down goes Mark Gallus. Yeah, Nathan Frazier is in. He's going to have to carry this on his own, isn't he? Axiom's a broken man on the outside of the ring. Wolfgang goes through the ropes. Standing shooting star. Gets a 2. Gets a 2. Really close in our poll, you know. Really close. Tickets are on sale tomorrow for New Year's Evil. Here we go. Nathan on the outsides. Oh. Nice. Sling blades. Sling blades. Going up top. Perched. Boom. Big frog splash. 1, 2. Wolfgang makes the save. Wolfgang makes the save. Wolfgang makes the save. Yeah, great splash there by Nathan. If they're going down fighting. Boom! Big shots by Mark Coffey. In comes Wolfgang. Scoops up. Nathan. Nathan goes down. Going for the cover. 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up. So, yeah, he's down there. I can see his hand. Vic Joseph's like, I can't see Axiom anywhere. It's going up. Wolfgang's going up. Wolfgang's perched. Whoa, mate! Boom! The big man off the top. That was sick. Axiom just making the save. I don't feel like commentary gave Wolfgang enough love there. Flipping swanton off the top. Up on the shoulders. So, Axiom back up. Super kick there by Axiom. Nathan trying to roll up Wolfgang. 2. How many votes we had? We've had over 100 votes. We're going to end this poll because I feel like the match is reaching its conclusion. Kick there by Axiom. But he hits Nathan. Oh my God. This might be it. Axiom up. Oh, he kind of reverses it. It's a little bit botchy. Axiom, though, to the outside. This is anyone's. Reverse Rana to Wolfgang. Wolfgang down. Nathan down. Axiom down, but then he started the match down. Mark Coffey down. Fraxiom doing Fraxiom things. They are a really fun tag team. I mean, I want them to split because I feel like the men's division would really benefit by having them both be in that division, but the tag division would really lose. Boom! Look at the speeds. Wolfgang just doesn't know if he's flipping coming or going. Into the top turnbuckle goes Nathan Frazier. Big heavy clothesline there by Wolfgang. Nathan Frazier down. Wolfgang stepping through the ropes. What was the name of the special? Beast in the East. That had Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, NXT Championship match. Boom, on his feet. Was it Kofi against Brock? Kofi Brock, I think. Going up. Axiom, Wolfgang, are we going for Spanish Fly? Spanish Fly. I just don't think that looks good, you know. Both of them are up there and they're like, okay, yeah, you ready? Good to get lace. Boom, to the outsides. Nathan. Oh, mates. That's got to finish it. I think Nathan's got it. Well done. 52% said we would not get new champions. We have not got new champions. They have found a way. That though was flipping a hard day at the office for Fraxiom. That was a real hard day. Certainly for Axiom. I'm surprised. I thought they would go with the change here. I could see it being a case that they lose the titles and then they do like a thing next week. But apparently the answer is no. I thought they would lose, said Eric, but I figured they'd win. Here's Hank and Tank. And Javon. Ethan Page in the background. Tag team champs. Next year. Live, laugh, honk honk. Okay, so Javon's kind of bragging about what he's achieved, and so he should. He's had an amazing year. Almost won Iron Survivor. Here's Ethan. Barging past Javon. Well, there we go. There we go. Ethan is sadder than Charlie Brown. Cheer up, Boomer. Yeah. Stop being a mood hoover. Turn that frown upside down. Saturday night's main event did well. 2.3, said Anthony. Well, I think I don't really get all that. Wasn't it 1.5, 2.3 if you add in something else? I don't really get. Don't know how we get to the 2.3, but I know there's a few ways. Is that like NBC and Peacock added together? Yeah, TV was 1.5, so. I don't know which number you go with. I'm glad Daze didn't look when Fraxium won, said Suzanne. Oh, why? What was you doing, Suzanne? What was you doing? What they're doing with Ethan Page kind of reminds me of what they did with Corbin. Wow. That didn't end well, because he's not with them anymore. We've got more adverts. Daze, do we think we'll ever do an NXT Hall of Fame? Do you think they'll ever do an NXT Hall of Fame? Who would go in first? Well, Seth was the first champion. I mean, the first name I think of when I think NXT is Triple H. So what I was thinking is, would you put Triple H in? Because he is Mr. NXT in my mind. William Regal would have to go in, but and Matt Bloom would have to go in. But I mean, I don't know if you want to put in like all of those kind of behind the scenes people. If you're talking wrestlers, I think Seth would have to go in as the first champion. I think Paige would have to go in as the first women's champion. I feel like Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, for what they did with DIY, but then both of them being individual champions themselves, and Johnny, I think, having more 5-star matches, if you care about that, than I think anyone else in NXT history. I feel like they both would have to go in. I think Balor would have to go in. I think Asuka would have to go in. Sammy would have to go in. So, I mean, first is difficult. I don't know if you go with Seth because he was the first champ and he's a big name, or do you go Triple H? But there's lots of people that you could put in. Will there ever be one? I don't know. I would be all right if there never was. I feel like the Hall of Fame is the Hall of Fame. I think get into the proper Hall of Fame, that's what people should be working towards. If you join NXT and then the rest of your career was not very good, like, don't know, Hall of Fame for the developmental. They could do it. They could do it. I like the year-end awards. I would do that. I'm not sure that I'd campaign for an NXT Hall of Fame, though. Okay, we're just looking at some of the games that are coming up. Louisville is taking on Florida State. Boston College is taking on SMU. Big games in the roller derby world. Here's Charlie Dempsey. Oh, no. Lexis King is here to train. Ten reverse Hindu push-ups. So they've got a deck of cards. 3, so that's now 6 jumping squats. Queen, what's that? Mace swings, but how many for a queen? How many is a queen? What's an ace? Walk-in neck bridge. Hey, do you know what's really interesting, though, is that look at all these they're doing, and a lot of them just use their own body weight, you know? You don't have to have equipment. There are things you can do. No shortcuts, no cheating. Old-fashioned hard work. There we go. Heritage Cup match. Next week. No shortcuts. Good old-fashioned hard work. That's like me, pre-stream. Get well soon to Hammerstone. He's having knee surgery. He's going to be out for a few months, says A. Jobson. Oh, that's a shame. I had never heard about that. Here's Moody McGrew. Sorry, everyone. Well, just put a tweet out. Everyone has every right to boo me. Boo! Sucking the joy out the show! I deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. If they're trying to build up sympathy for him, it ain't landing, is it? He's getting booed as he's entering the ring. Daze, you should watch Pentagon Jr. against Vampiro. You'll see why fans that gimmick will work in WWE, said 6 Horror Kingman. I watched him in AEW. So he's talking about his daughter, and there's a few that he's won over. Talk to your wife. Why are you doing it on NXT? Oh my God! This isn't a video message service. Mates, come on. Daze, if you was a wise man to a 3-person group, who would it be? Hello, Poctadil. 3-person group. Well, I'd want people that just mess people up. Let's go Oba Femi. Let's go Brock Lesnar. Let's go Bobby Lashley. Just going to mess people up. Just going to have people that go in there and just... Every time I lose, my family lose. He's talking about his wife, said wrestling fan. Where's this going, kids? Do you know what? I don't think they've built this up enough. He's had a few losses. It's making it seem like he's been losing all year. It just feels like... Oh, I just don't buy it. Rhea bloody Ripley does, though. You still got it. He's lost his smile. Oh, someone's coming out. Javon. I wanted to apologize. It doesn't feel too good hearing about other people's accomplishments. Since you've been here, that's all we've heard. That's not really it. Well, it is. He's called All Ego. I mean, that is his gimmick. Being cocky and arrogant. I mean, he's called All Ego Ethan Page. He's not called lovely man Ethan Page, is he? So Javon has come out. Ethan smile feud by Ego gone, said Dr. Luchalala. The young OG, said Spartan. Ethan lost his smile like HBK, said A. Jobson. I've lost my smile. This segment's made me lose my smile. Why is Javon trying to build up Ethan? Javon says, drop the all ego. We want to see the real you. Javon says, I'm proud of you. Javon's just a young boomer, isn't he? He's a young boomer who's got a lot to learn. Javon, you've got an old boomer out there that is spinning you a yarn, and you're just being a young kid, just eating it up. The innocence of youth. Daze, if you could create a faction base in the community, who would you choose for inspiration? What, based on community members? We've had that before, haven't we? There we go. Ethan nails Javon. Booker says, mind your own business. Ethan putting the chair over Javon's heads. And he stomps on it. Ooh. Did he have a blood capsule in his mouth? Loads of blood just came out. Ooh, wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. So all this blood just came out the mouth of Javon. Honestly, I'm not just saying it. One of the worst segments I've seen this year. Not a single part of that did I care about or believe or buy into. The guys lost a few matches at the end of the year, and I just ain't buying this flipping... I just wasn't buying it. And having Javon come out going, we believe in you, you know, we think you're right to be here. It's like, mate, you're being a silly boomer. You're being a silly young boomer. That turn was just... I think you could have seen it flipping last year. It was, I feel like it sat down and introduced itself to me a good hour before it actually happened. But putting the chair over his neck, stomping on it, and then the blood from Javon, that was good. I didn't expect that to be as brutal as what it was. So that was good. I'll praise where it's due. But I just don't get this story at all. I just don't get it. It was the whole thing just to build to that, or this whole moping around. Was it just to build to Javon coming out and then sneak attacking him? I mean, if he wanted to do that, why didn't he? He's had opportunity to do that backstage. Just don't get it. I don't understand. Instant blood, said Wrestle with Andy. Blue Will Sonic said, I hate bloods. I don't really understand why we didn't have Ethan come in and we just sort of built him up, have him as being arrogant, give him wins, get him to the title and go that journey. This is a very different way of going, of giving him the belt, having him lose the belt, then very quickly having a breakdown. And it was so obvious that he was that it was going that way, that he was going to turn on Javon. I don't get it. I don't understand. What I will say, though, is the crowd weren't buying it, but he did. Certainly when Javon came out and he was like, I saw how you looked at your wife. That wasn't just any smile. You know, you really loved her and it meant something and all this stuff. There was people buying it. There was people that were like, oh, perhaps he is a good guy after all. I don't know. Ethan needs to have Danhausen as a manager, said Joe. Do you know what? That would be really interesting. I think when we do our feedback, I would really like to know how people would book Ethan, how he should have been booked, how would you book him? Because this isn't anything to do with Ethan. I didn't buy, you know, what he was selling there, but it's the story more than anything else. I just don't get it. I don't understand. I just don't get it. So that would be kind of interesting as to what people would do, you know. Fadeaway Media said Ethan has just ended the career of Javon. That has definitely not happened. Carrion enjoyed it. Carrion has got a smiley face. I can't get over what we've just witnessed, says Vic Joseph. Oh, God, we've got to watch it again. We've got to watch it again. I shouldn't worry about losing my smile. I should worry about taking yours. Sean Rossap said, I'm told that LA Knight is not injured, as was posted earlier by a location. Okay, so apparently not injured. Oh, I'm pretty sure I saw some of Javon Evans' teeth in the ring, said Vic Joseph. Okay, Trick said, I want some well wishes and prayers for Javon. I'm proving all the doubters wrong. Hey, should we go into the... let's get a poll, shall we? Who's going to leave as NXT champion? Is it going to be Trick? Or is it going to be Eddy? Oh, here's Oba. Oh, I forgot about that. It's going to be Trick, isn't it? We ain't going to do Oba versus Eddy in 3 weeks. Mate, I'm so excited for this match, Trick versus Oba, but that's completely ruined tonight, isn't it? I'm looking forward to it, says Trick. Oh, there's Stephanie. Corey, you think I'm just another threat, but you don't know me. I didn't become the best luchadora in the world overnight. The first worked tirelessly to get here after years of hard work. But Cora arrived first. She signed in 2021 and became the representation of the new era of NXT. Meanwhile, I went out to the world to face the great challengers that made me stronger. Now I am here. I got where I wanted. I found my way. And I will be everything Cora wants to be. Next week, I will take you to meet hell. Well, there we go. There we go. Daze, someone ask him, will you miss us on the 28th? Horrifically, Kieran. Honestly, buds. What I might do is I might actually give all my family, there's like 30 coming round, I might give all my family community names. Just so that I miss you a little less. Because I can feel like you're here in person. I think I might do that. Lights have gone out. I've got an uncle that just is like a bit pervy and doesn't stop swearing. So I'll be like, hey, James Chadwick. Like that. Hey, James Chadwick, how you doing? And I'll be like, what? I'll be like, doesn't matter. Just go with it. I miss them all so much. Eddy versus Trick. Coming up. Let's go. Oh, let's go. Common Live, yes. AR Dub Pro. AR Dub Pro. AR Dub Pro. Days last week when I told you about the Christmas lights, you said Trinley Park, the city, is Tinley Park, Illinois. Tinley. Let's call the whole thing off. That's the same, innit, mate? It's the same. Oh, hang on. You went to where? Where did you go? You went to Trinley Park. No, Tinley Park. Oh, that's the worst one. You wanted to go to Trinley, mate? The lights at Trinley. Wow, they're so good. I think they were. Let me just quick search. Yeah, won Best Christmas Lights 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025. Wow, that's amazing. So that was Trinley, but where did you go? Tinley. Hang on, give me a second. Let me have a little look, mate. Worst Christmas lights. Turns out worst 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026. Worst Christmas tree lights. Tinley Park. Sorry, bud. You went to the wrong one. Oh, God. Oh, Common Live. Christmas is ruined. Oh, God. Mate, all you need to do is just say to your folks, listen, you took me to the wrong one, you boomers. Fix it now. Yeah? Just say that. And they'll be like, oh, my God, so sorry, my angel. Let's go. There we go. Do we expect shenanigans or a straight up match? No, we'll probably get some shenanigans. But after, like, flipping Oba's just walked in and reminded me that that match is happening, I don't think there's much doubt who wins this now. Daze, I enjoyed Raw, says Amin. War Raiders, new tag champs. Yeah. Kevin said, what's up? How you doing? I'm good, thanks, Kevin. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. Daze, I'm very excited, actually, because tomorrow, we are doing a Raw on Netflix kickoff show, live stream, watch along. So it's, I don't know what to expect from that. I like doing the unexpected sort of shows. What are we going to get? Probably nothing. It's probably going to be rubbish. But, you know, dare to dream. There's no way Trick beats Oba, said Rhea Bloody Ripley. A. Jobson said JoJo singing now. What, JoJo Siwa? Is she singing? Where's she singing? Guys, that's my queen. That is my queen. Where's do you notice how Carmen Live comes in, says something, and then goes again? Carmen Live came in, told us that they went to the wrong lights, and then that's it. Don't it? Oh, here we go, Daze. I might go to Chebanese, Illinois this Saturday to see Southland Championship Wrestling, a company in Illinois that is similar to ARW Pro. Nothing similar to ARW Pro, bub. Completely flipping different. You need to go to the proper place that has the better lights. But excuse me. Whoop that chick. Whoop that chick. Whoop that chick. This place is shaking. Look at this. Whoop that chick. Loud? It's loud, you know. Whoop that chick. I don't know if this is good or if this is bad. What? This is good. This is great. This is Trip Willie. Yes. Imagine this on the main roster. Imagine this. They've flipping got something the size of Jey Uso's yeet that's going to hit the main roster. Look at that, man. Normally it's just the PC, but now it's that little bit bigger. Just put him in the WrestleMania main event, you cowards. Oh, who should Cody face? Trick Willie. That's who Cody should face. And he should lose the cheating boomer. Whoop that chick. Whoop that chick. Oh, I've got a picture with Trick. I love it. It might be my highlight of my year. Daze, can you please time James out? He just says that Santa's not real. Haters, listen, that is the most James thing I've ever heard. Haters hating. Haters flipping hating. Whoop that chick. Whoop that chick. I told you, Daze would dance for like 200 likes. 200! We're only at 200. Why do I even bother doing these streams? 200. I could have stayed in bed and got 200 likes. Oh my God. Do you know the Hook Tour girl? She just puts up some nonsense of like, guys, go over to my collection. You can get some new Hook Tour shirts. That gets like 100,000 likes. Guys, spit on that thing. Spit on that thing. What you got to do is go. You got to spit on that thing. That's what she said, and she got really popular. I've said it now. I mean, maybe I didn't do it as good, right? So maybe I don't deserve the 100,000, but I mean 1,000. I don't know. Spit on that thing. Yeah? I don't know. What other catchphrases would you like? Tickle my dickle. Oh, I just went with it, to be honest. Oh, lovely crossbody there by Eddy Thorpe. I just went with it. I probably regret it now. Kick coming in there by Eddy Thorpe. Amin said, where did we buy the Christmas tree? It's amazing. Oh, what, this one? Selfridges. Got it from Selfridges. Nice kick there by Trick. Going for the cover. Two girls going to go to jail. Well, I want to go to jail. It's worth it if you get 100,000 likes. Do you know how important likes are? Like, you would do jail time for likes. I would. God, imagine that. Big boot there by Eddy Thorpe. 50,000 likes, you have to do a week in jail. I'd be like, oh, God. That's like 50 UFC streams, isn't it? It's one of them. Daze. To a guy, yeah. Let's get him trending. Forget the money. I want to say Daze strip, said Susan. Let's go. Whatever it takes, Susan. That's where I am now. Whatever it flipping takes. NJ94 said, I've got a feeling Trick's going to lose the title tonight and then be called to the main roster. But what about the Oba match? What about the Oba match? Corey said, Daze has all of a sudden become an Alabama resident. Daze, get the infamous WCW Goldberg ornament on that tree. Oh, I'll have to find a PNG file. I mean, I'll have to find it in the shops. She's now going to get 100,000 licks in jail. Is that what does that mean? Don't answer that. You mean that the Christmas tree didn't come with Starlink? Oh my God. I don't even use Starlink. It is so sketchy, you know. Seems to come in and go out. If we need to stream, because we just have to stream and everything else is dead, I have it as a backup. But whenever I've jumped onto it, it seems to dip out. It is not a very stable connection, is what I've learned. And I spent all that money on it. But could you imagine it being WrestleMania and everything's down, and if I have to just use Starlink, I'll use Starlink, you know? Daze ARW Pro posted the video from the December 7th UAW 551 Chicago event. Yes! Carmen Live, that is my Christmas sorted. Yes! They said they wouldn't. But they did. Merry Christmas, Carmen Live too. You might have to not use Starlink. You might end up with those drones. What are those drones about? Have we had any answers yet? Do we know what those drones are for? I think they're perving on you when you sleep, you know. I think they're trying to take pictures of you all as you have a shower. I think they're William Hence's dress. I think they all belong to William. It's Elon. What did you expect, said James. Elon and Starlink have robbed Daze, said Spartan. Kapata, shout out to you, my friends. Hope you're doing well. Welcome home, Daze, said Deadman Talking. Daze, I hope you're doing well. How's tonight's show? I think it's had some real highlights. Some of the matches, you know. Axiom Oba. Jaida Wren. Axiom, Gallus. Now we've got Eddy against... actually, in-ring, we've been quite good. I didn't need that Ethan segment. And I don't know, like the little backstage bits. And we got Alba and Isla. I think this show has been good. I think it's been good. Has it lived up to the hype of having 2 championship matches, being away from the PC? We're going to have to wait and see. I think it'll be very interesting to see what the community score it, actually. And maybe we ain't going to know quite the answer for that for another 6 minutes. Boom! Nice. Shoulder up. Shoulder up trick. He made his own break, and that is true. He did make his own break. He made his own break. Against the ropes goes Trick. Over the top goes Eddy. Trick again. Oh! Starlink was the nickname of the failed Night Star project, which was supposed to connect Scotland with Paris via the Channel Tunnel. Really? What does that mean? Was that a train that would travel overground from London to Scotland then? I have never heard of such a thing. Starlink, Scotland, Paris. Huh? EU has launched a 10 billion space program to rival Starlink. The EU is launching a space with 290 satellites to rival Elon Musk's Starlink. Wow. 1,000 satellites will make a mega constellation. Wow. Well, I'll join them. If Starlink doesn't work out for me, I'll join them. Boom. Suplex there by Eddy. Eddy going against the ropes. Boom, boom. Elbow drop. 1, 2. Trick kicks out. We've only got 3 minutes. This match has had no time, has it really? Commercial break, then we've come back. Trick giving Eddy a lot of offense. Trick trying to get up to his knees. We need to see the pace of this one start to increase. We need to see a bit of back and forth. Forearm strikes coming in by both guys. Final throws of this one is Raw on January 6th. 3 hours, said Max. Yes. Oh, against ropes goes Eddy. Boom! Big kick there. Lovely Pele kick coming in by Eddy. Trick went down. Kick coming in there by Trick. Eddy is rocked. No joy. Ah! Nice counter there by Eddy Thorpe. Eddy. Back in the corner goes Eddy Thorpe. Trick Williams in the middle of the ring. Gets caught by Eddy. Right now, round the back, we're running. Has this got an overrun? We're really running out of time. He's got him up on his shoulder. Trick plants Eddy down. He's letting the hair down. Gets the ropes. Picks him up. No joy. Yeah. Do you know what? I think they tried to knock the ref down the first time. I think they tried for that spot the first time and it didn't come off. Referee down. I don't know if the referee was just slightly out of position, but I think they tried to knock him down first time. Roll up there by Trick. Kick out by Eddy. Trick back on his feet. We've got a replacement referee. Suplex there by Eddy. Trick back in the corner. Big boot there by Eddy. Eddy going back, charging over Trick. In the corner, another big boot. Eddy going back, charging over. Trick, bah! Big knee. Falls down. One. Both refs count. And there we go. Trick wins in what I've got to say was not a great match at all. One referee thinks that it's Eddy that won. The other referee... Yeah, but Eddy wasn't pinning Trick. Show me where Eddy's pinning Trick. Oh, the arm over the top. Eddy's hand was on top. Well, there's real confusion here because Ava has come out. One referee is saying that Eddy is the champ. The other referee... We're going to have to run that match back, aren't we? We're going to have to run that back. Crowd weren't really feeling the finish of that at all. Crowd just weren't, considering that's for the championship. The crowd just weren't having it. Crowd didn't seem that bothered. Yeah, some of them spots, they didn't work. There was that moment where you can tell he was like trying to throw him into the ref, but the ref just wasn't there. So they had to go back and do another spot to knock the referee down. Then you've got that bit there where Trick's on top of Eddy. And, all right, Trick's shoulders down, but Eddy's not pinning Trick. But then on the replay, it does show that his arm is on top of Trick. So you could definitely make the argument. But, I mean... They're kind of both pinning each other, aren't they? But the crowd were just not into that. Crowd were not invested. There was no, you know, they would have wanted everyone out of their seats. Really like, oh my God, what does this mean? But to be honest, that whole thing felt like it just didn't have the time it needed. That Ethan segment, we could have cut that right down. Some of the you know, Fraxium time could have been cut. I think we said about Lash and Jakara against Soul and Zari. I remember saying, like, does this need to be this long? I think we definitely could have given that match 5 more minutes. And certainly if you're going to do an angle like that needed time to breathe a bit more at the end. I think they botched that, to be honest. I think they got that really wrong. Some of the structure of this show felt a bit off. Interesting. Eddy's shoulder was up, said Wrestled Andy. Well, do you know what? Cry about it. Cry about it. What's going on? Who won? Not the fans. I know that much. I know that much. So I'm guessing that they'll have to just run a rematch, won't they? Unless, we're not going to make Oba, Eddy, and Trick a like triple threat, are we? We're not going to go that way, are we? Trenton said Eddy's foot was under the rope. Well, we're going to have to wait and see how this gets dealt with. I don't know if there's going to be some social media footage because, of course, Trick's going to have something to say about it. Eddy's going to have something to say about it. I feel like it feels a little bit Saturday night's main event where, what, do they both just walk to the back now? We know that next week's show is being taped, so I don't want a spoiler for next week, but you've got to imagine that there's quite the conversation happening right now in front of that live crowd, so I'm sort of keeping my eyes peeled to see if WWE post anything. Like, you know, took a leaf out of Saturday night's main event. I mean, shout out to you. What the hell? The news has come on again and Eddy's leg was under the rope. At least it's not Hank and Tank. Thank God they weren't in the main events. They'll probably do a triple threat with Eddy will take the pin so that Trick Oba don't look bad. What was your opinion on Saturday night's main event? Well, I did a video on it, but I gave it about a 7. All of that to protect Trick. I don't like it, says Matter. Well, it's to protect Eddy, really. I mean, I can't see, like, Eddy getting the title, so we're trying to make Eddy look as good as possible here. So I don't think it's we don't need to protect Trick. We're trying to protect Eddy so that he can take this loss and look as good as possible. Who do we think is behind the vignette on Raw? Penta. I don't want a triple threat, said Chris. Was you entertained by the show, said Hannah. I found that there was real ups and real downs on this. There was things that I really got frustrated with, and then there was things that I really enjoyed. And actually, this is one that I watch NXT and it's a bit like, that's good, that's bad, so I really like that, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it's just you kind of plod along and watch it, and it's a comfortable watch. This one I felt like, I don't know, like the high spots were really good. The low points were really bad. And felt a bit more extreme this week for me. Don't know why. Don't know why that was the case, but it did. Perhaps the change of venue. I don't know. Perhaps, the Ethan thing kind of coming a bit more to a head with us getting somewhere with it, you know. Some people thought he was going to the main roster. I wondered it. Some people thought he might get into a tag team. Instead, he just ends up attacking Javon Evans. And then, like, honestly, that main event match, I'm a big Trick fan. That was not good. That is not going to help the narrative that he cannot do it in the ring, you know. I've seen him have great matches. I believe he can. I just think they've booked a bit of nonsense there, and I don't think they gave it enough time. I still hold out hope for him against Oba, but if it's going to become a triple threat now, that'll be a real shame. Yeah, don't know. Didn't need that silly finish, to be honest. That's disappointing. Fightful said no one knows who the NXT champ is. It appears that both Eddy and Trick's shoulders were down. Do you know what? I think if you want to pick that apart, you can probably make an argument for like Eddy or something like this, but bottom line is that ref's decision is going to be final, and we had 2 refs counting at the same time. The whole thing's a mess. So it's going to come down to Ava to just sort it. Obviously, Eddy's going to have, something to say on it. Trick's going to have something to say on it. Everyone's going to have something to say on it. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to what Ava decides she wants to do. Referee's decision, final, all that stuff. And we'll have to wait and see. James said, one bad night doesn't mean that NXT sucks. But Asib said, NXT is bad every week. Katie said, Daze, thank you for liking my tweet. No worries, my friends. Brony said, last good match Trick had was against Elia. Even the Carmelo matches were a bit underwhelming at Stand and Deliver. Trick does need to improve in ring. I agree that he needs to improve in ring. I've never said he doesn't, but is he at the point where I think he can go to the main roster and hold his end of the bargain? Well, yes, but I have to admit that was sloppy today. That was sloppy. What I saw there between him and Eddy was off. But then I just wonder if, like, getting to the spot where he has to knock the ref down, getting into a position where you're doing this double pin finish, like, it's just a bit messy, to be honest. I just want them to, I would just love for them to go out there and just bang. Go out there and show what you can do. Give them some freedom. Instead, we're doing an angle, which is fine, but I don't think that's a great way of bringing out the best in these guys at where they are. I mean, you're going to have to go to the main roster and do angles, but I think you could put them both in the ring and get a better match out of them than what we just saw. I don't think that's the best that these two can deliver. Let's put it that way, right? Do the rematch, let them go, And I think you'll end up with a much better looking match, to be honest. Because I'm sure they watch their matches back, and when they watch that back, there's definitely moments that's not great. But there were moments that were great tonight. I really enjoyed Jaida Wren. I really enjoyed Oba against Axiom, and you lot did as well. You said it was great. I really enjoyed Frazier and Gallus. I liked the storytelling there. I thought that was really fun. So, I mean, some of the matches here are really, really good. Really, really good. You lot have scored this one good 92%, and I got to be honest, I think that's being kind. I think that's being kind. I did not rate it that highly. But it's done. We move. And I am actually interested to see where this goes. I am actually interested to see what is next when it comes to this story. I don't think they take it off Trick. I think they'll just run the rematch. But let's see. Let's see what they cook up, shall we? So that was NXT. A big thank you to everyone that joined us. I'm going to run away and get some stuff sorted. Matt sent in a super chat, I believe, quite near the start of the night. So I need to make sure we're getting to this. I always look to see if we've missed any. And we did. So, Daze, what is your opinion of nostalgia in wrestling? Can it blind us? Can our love for it lead to us being manipulated? Well, I think it can lead to us being manipulated. What I would say about nostalgia is that I think it's something I love about wrestling. When you've got such a rich history, I think that it's great to dig into that kind of history and that nostalgia. Can it manipulate us? Well, I mean, it can make a bad show okay. Some would argue that's what happened with Saturday night's main event, you know? If you didn't care for the nostalgia of Saturday night's main event, then maybe you just saw a bad show. A lot of people really didn't seem to enjoy it, but I love the nostalgia. And so for me, it put a smile on my face, put me in a good frame of mind, and I was enjoying what followed. So can it manipulate? Well, I'd give that as an example. You know, I'd give that as an example. Plus also, I think when you're a kid, everything's amazing. You can go back and rewatch things. I said before, I never saw a botch. I never saw a botch when I was a kid. But, you know, you can go back and rewatch and then see botches and see rubbish matches. And, you know, when I was a kid, I believed everything I was watching. Obviously, you learn not to do that. And I think you can go back and see that actually things weren't as great as when you was watching them at the time. So I think nostalgia can mislead. I don't know about manipulate, but I suppose it can. But I think there's such a place for it, you know? Everyone loves the legends. That's one of the things people love about the Rumble, is when a legend comes out, you know? So that's all nostalgia, isn't it? Nostalgia is a very powerful thing. So, yeah, one of my favourite parts of wrestling is looking back at the past and whatnot. So, good. I'm glad we got it. Have a banger night, everyone. Yep. Right. Everyone, thanks for joining us. Don't forget, we are back tomorrow, and God only knows what we're getting tomorrow. Really excited to find out. So thanks a lot for the support, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.